Hey, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Happy Monday. We're here to talk about RHOA. I actually feel like it was a really good episode. So, y'all, thanks for stopping by. Carol from the Bronx, I see you. Thanks for coming through. The Doctor of Love, thank you so much for stopping by. I hope y'all still watching RHOA because I am. So, Amy J, how you doing? And Dot Willie, I see you in the building. Thanks for stopping by. Lisa, I see you. And hey, lady, you got to tell me how to pronounce your name because I don't want to mess it up, and that's why I never say it. But thank you so much for stopping through. I love it that you always come through and you're here. Mary, what's up? How you doing? MH, I'm so glad to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Hey, Smoke, I see you back there. I'm coming for you. Okay. Hey, Lucy, how are you? Okay, thank you. So is it sorry? I hope I said that right. But you're always in here. You're always hanging out with me, and I love you for that. Thanks for stopping by. Lenora, hey, what's up? And Selena, how you doing? We got to talk about. Sorry, I got it. Thank you. Thank you, and thanks for stopping by. So, listen, everybody. Smoke, you want to come in? I'm gonna talk a little bit, but I'll add you to the stream. So, hey, Smoke, what's up?
Hey Diva, hey everyone.
Hey, listen, I think this episode of RHOA was really good. It had a lot of little
Agreed.
tidbits. Yeah.
hmm
Did you like it?
Oh, I loved it, and I've said it from the beginning of this season. Is like this season is like a slow cooker season. Everything is starting to kind of just pop off, and it's popping off at the right time because we're about to hit that mid-season trailer. I think maybe the next couple of weeks. So I think it's
Hmm.
perfect that things are starting to like come to fruition. And the way these Watch What Happened lives have been going, because Andy Cohen has been smart. He's been tying his show into RHOA so he can take the ratings with them. But
Yes.
apparently Sanya was coming for Kenya, so I was basically y'all gonna have like 6 feet of distance between everybody at this reunion. Like the city arrangements, I don't know how they're gonna do it.
It's gonna be something nasty, isn't it? So let's start out. So we open up with you talking to her business partner with this whole exercise thing. Drop it with Drew. I'm not trying to be fresh. I know Drew needed a storyline, but I think it would have been a better fit for her husband. Drop it with Ralph, or maybe reset with Ralph, because Drew is not ready to be doing or promoting an exercise venture. Okay. And first of all, who's going to trust her? You or trust anything that she says about this, drop it with Drew, right? Especially when you got a mommy makeover. So we don't stand a chance if we're looking at you as the face of this business to even get anywhere because you started off with a head start. And not only that, even after your head start, what you're showing us is not body goals. Body goals
Ooh.
with Sheree and Sanya, but not Drew. So I don't think that Drew should be doing this. I think her husband could have been the face of this whole situation. I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
I mean, yes, but I think in true housewife fashion, I guess she. It's good that she has a platform, so I think it was a good exchange for her to get this of the sister's business, who's been doing it for years, to get her out there and to be kind of just co-hosting. But I was like, I do see that because Ralph does look like he does work out himself. It's giving me very much Phaedra and Apollo and Donkey Boo
Yes,
video.
yes. You know what? Yes, that is a good analogy. You are correct because Apollo worked out. Ralph, you can tell he works out. Like even when he was there, when you saw his body at the event. But we'll kind of get to that. So the next scene was Sanya talking to her sister, and her sister was like, "Please don't have another baby," because Sanya's storyline right now is the fact that her husband wants a baby, another baby.
Mhm.
Sonya is saying she's too busy. Again, not being fresh, busy doing what? Um, is she busy dusting off the medals that she had, or is she busy with this mommy nation? Is she going from state to state, town to town, doing seminars? What is she busy doing? And then not only that, if you got all of these people in your house and you have one kid,
Right.
Ducey, I mean, seriously, you can't handle one kid when your husband is trying to work his business out of state. Like, you got to give me a break with that. And your mother and your father's there. all of these people in your household, and no one can help you with this one kid, and there's no way you can have another kid. And I'm not trying to monitor anybody's uterus, but this is your husband. And then for your sister, here's the thing with marriage: don't get anybody else in your business. Now the sister all up in
Agreed.
the business, okay? And the sister got 2 kids herself. So you gave your husband 2 kids, but you telling me that I should not have another baby because whatever ventures and all of this that I'm doing. I don't know. What do you think about that scene?
Because here's the thing is not, no offense to Sanya and Ross, I think they're great parents and they probably raised their child, but it's gonna fall on grandma and grandpa and the sister to do it. Because to answer your question, I think Sanya, she works for NBC as a commentator. So whenever they're doing like track events, whether it's in the US or internationally, I think she's on that commentator team.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
think that could be part of the busy, but I'm not. But track is not an all season thing. And then when they probably started shooting this past season, it was probably during like the winter or fall where track wasn't really happening as much. So she had free time. But I could kind of see what Sanya was saying about feeling like she's gonna implode under the pressure, because you want to raise your child with your significant other, and it's kind of hard to do that if someone is going bouncing back and forth. It falls all on you. And I know Sanya doesn't want to go to her family about that, because I can tell you right now, her mom is probably just sucking her teeth and roll her eyes like, really, girl? Like, I don't mind taking your child every once in a while, but y'all decided to make this commitment or make this decision to have a child. Y'all should be all hands on deck 24/7, whether one of y'all here or both of y'all are here.
Mommy and daddy's in my house. I'm not trying to tell the grandparents what they should not do, but mommy
Right.
and daddy, you here? So watch Deucey. I'll be back. I'm
Right.
sorry.
Right.
Drew is not fit. That's why this drop it with Drew. It's a little sketchy, but I do like Drew, but we'll get into that in a minute. So let's move on where Sheree, Marlo, and Kandi meet up at this
Oh
spa sauna type
boy.
situation. You said it, okay? First of all, I'm gonna need them to back up off of Kandi, and I mean real quick, okay? So they're at this sauna and they want to constantly keep telling Kandi how she's a bad friend. Okay, wait a minute. I do have a life. Kandi has a husband. She has kids. She has business. She's acting. I'm sorry. I cannot be monitoring my friends 24/7. When y'all see me, y'all see me. And here's my problem with Sheree in this situation. Sheree, you ready to forgive Tyrone, the one that had you out in Philly in the restaurant, waiting in the cold. He didn't show up. He blocked your number. And now you don't know if you could forgive Kandi, but you kept saying on a regular basis, you're not even sure if you're really going to be done with Tyrone. Sheree, I'm going to need you to forgive Kandi and knock it off.
Child. Sheree is always on the losing team. Like, she never gets it right. It's like, Sheree, you are the OG. I'd rather she be the one of reason, being like, listen, sis is like doing 2, 3, 4, 5 jobs. She don't have time to be catered to us. But I'm like, I guess if it makes for an interesting show and for the mess, I could be here for it.
King, is that you with the noise?
You got Kenya Moore. She's on the show.
King is here, but I don't think he hears us. And
Hello?
he got a lot of, hey, can you hear us?
Oh yeah, is it still making noise?
Yeah, well, it seemed like it stopped.
Okay. No, I'm
All
sorry. I
right.
was doing something I didn't know I was on.
Oh, okay. So what's going on? What you want to add?
Nothing. Nothing. You're not to the part I want to talk about yet. So I'm gonna
Oh,
sit there
okay.
and
Well, they
I'm gonna
need to
sit there
get
and
off
listen.
Candy back. Okay. They need to get off Candy back. And in addition to getting off her back, Marlo needs to stop every single second. We know you was in foster care. We know you had a situation, but you've been an adult now longer than you have been a child, and we need you to get over it. We need you to go to therapy, do what you got to do. But at this particular moment, every time a situation comes up, don't remind us about how you grew up in foster care. I had enough.
But on the flip side, to play devil's advocate, though, I'm
Mhm.
kind of liking seeing Kandi lip sync for her life or fight for her life on the show this season because she has skated by. Now, let's be objective about it. Kandi has kind of been in the wings the past couple of seasons. She'll just drop tidbits here and there, stir the pot, and move on and be like, I didn't do nothing. And it's kind of just like, I'm actually liking seeing her to like fend for herself on camera. It's very interesting TV.
Y'all don't have to make Kandi work for her coin. She's an OG. She done laid the groundwork. She can get to sit back every now and then. King, I'm gonna mute you for a second. I'm still hearing noise. She could sit back every now and then, and y'all need to knock it off. Keep telling her that she's a bad friend. And yes, Amy J, Sanya can get a nanny because her man got to go to Texas. You know, he had their business in Texas. So y'all moved to Atlanta so you can do this show. He supported you. And you know what? He made a very good point. Just like she supported him when he was playing the NFL or whatever he was playing, support me now. The same thing. I'm trying to make money for our family and I want you to have another baby. So figure it out.
True. But also, someone actually put in the chat, they said Kandi has not laid the groundwork. She hasn't. Mama Joyce and her family did. And Todd's mother, they were the ones that laid the groundwork for her.
See, y'all being mean. Y'all being mean. When Sanya asked Ralph about the second child, I was shocked. Let me see. What did you say? I was shocked. They put everyone in their business. Well, you know what? Let me tell you something. When Sanya did that, we're going to get to that when we get to that scene. First of all, Sanya don't like the hands, right? Because she started speaking to Drew because Drew put her hands in Sheree's face. But meantime, Sanya, you got your hand on Ralph's shoulder. Put your hands down. Don't talk with your hands because you don't like when people do that, Sanya. Okay? Sanya should just say she don't want another kid. Well, you know what, Dot? You know what, Dot, really? That's what she should say, right? Let's keep it 100. Just say you don't want another kid. Don't be sitting here with all the back and sideways shenanigans. And the truth is you just don't want another kid. I don't like how the ladies with their surgical bodies were shaming Drew.
Right.
Were they shaming Drew?
They were.
I don't. Go ahead.
Oh, you can go ahead.
I wasn't taking it as body shaming. I think I think they were being a little. They were being critical. But I think they were doing kind of like what we all were doing. I think they're kind of poking fun at the fact that Drew is the face of this workout company, and proclaiming to have had a surgery to enhance her body, and you don't really see it visually. You don't see the surgery visually, and I think we've all done that. I do think Sheree was a little off and a little mean-spirited in saying she looked like a busted can of biscuits. I think that was a little unnecessary.
No, that was mean. That was mean. That definitely was mean. But I think where Drew ran herself into problems is one, you don't even really know much about the business, but we'll get there. We'll get there. She ran herself into a little bit of problems, right? But we're in this sauna. Is Marlo, is Sheree, is Kandi. And Sheree was reminding Kandi of when they was called the Smalls, how much time they used to spend together. So she went down memory lane, right? She was reminiscing, and I appreciated that. But I am going to need her to knock it off because Kandi doesn't have to be the first one to call you because you should have never been with Tyrone in the first place. But that's a whole nother story, okay? So, and you grown and you know better. So don't be trying to put that off on me, okay? About I didn't call you in time and I'm not being a real friend. That Spies thing was hard to watch. Yeah, it was hard to watch because Kandi was so emotional. And Kandi also said, look, my family is even asking me for time. She got a whole life, okay, y'all? She can't just be at your beck and call every second. So I get it. They want Kandi to work. But in my opinion, Kandi has laid down the groundwork, whether it was her family, Todd's mother, sister, brother, uncle, they all connected to Kandi. So Kandi did her thing. Okay. All right. Kandi, and thank you, Amy J. Amy J just said it. Kandi is busy.
Diva, I'll be right back. My Instacart is here, but I'll be right back. Okay.
Okay. Sounds good. No problem. Yeah.
But Diva, can I say something to that?
Yes, of course you can.
Kandi is booked and busy, and this is what I'm getting from Kandi. And I Kandi is my second favorite next to Kenya. But when Kandi came to the spa scene, you could tell when she walked in, she was uninterested. She was kind of on guard, and it seemed like one of those days you go to work, but you don't necessarily feel like being at work. But you say, "Let me go because I need this money. I have to do this. I have to be. This is my obligation."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm getting that from Kandi. But on the flip side, Marlo, who are you to feel like you have to make somebody earn their check? You just got
Yes,
this piece. Who are
yes,
you? Who are you to feel
yes.
like you have to make them earn the check?
I agree with you on that. And Ben Essence says Marlo and Sheree, aka Dumb and Dumber, need to leave Kandi alone. Ben, yes, they do. Leave Kandi alone. We ain't got time for the
Yeah,
nonsense.
leave
Okay.
alone.
Yeah, exactly. Who are you? You just got your whole peach, okay? It ain't even ripe yet, and you talking about, oh, I'm keeping these ladies check. Girl, bye. You didn't
And
pull the
and
ratings are not up that high.
and Sheree, first of all, Sheree's Marlo's homegirl this season, right?
Right.
Work on keeping Sheree's check because Sheree can get it, but she never holds on to it.
She never holds on
You
to it.
you and her work on what y'all gonna do. I guess it's even when you take Sheree when you take away that scene with Sheree sitting at the table a few episodes ago. What has Sheree really offered to the show since she's been back?
Absolutely nothing.
I mean,
Absolutely nothing.
we literally had a scene of her sitting down eating and telling us why she enjoyed eating that particular potato chip. Like, come on.
Okay. It was so ridiculous. And her dog wasn't even listening to her.
Dog,
Okay.
dog was doing what Tyrone was doing, leaving you alone, trying to keep his distance. Maybe his lawyer said it was against his parole violation too.
Yes, they are wrong for coming for Kandi like that. So, next they show a scene with Sheree. She finally has a business manager, right? She's talking about She by Sheree. I mean, the name is everything. I really
Mm-hmm.
do hope that finally, we get to see She by Sheree. Now, she did show up at Drew's event with her own products. She had the little drinking thing, water thing
Mm-hmm.
that was She by Sheree. She had a mat that looked a little flimsy, but I'm gonna give her a break. The yoga mat. Okay, the yoga mat wasn't nothing special. And I'm also not in love with the logo. She got to get this thing. We've been
Mm-hmm.
waiting all of these years. That logo wasn't everything. It looked like something we can go print right now off of our computer. I mean, come on, Sheree. You've been on this thing for years. Come better than that. So, and she had her yoga pants on or her
But
workout pants on.
but wouldn't it have been so? That's why I forgot who wrote the comment a minute ago, referring to them as dumb and dumber. Sheree has to be dumber because wouldn't you have, with all that, knowing that you've been made fun of and you've gotten this third chance back on the show, she should
Mm-hmm.
have, at the end of that episode, via social media or something, or her website or whatever, she should have been selling those yoga mats and those pants and everything. Because, fitness really is something. I think if she tapped into that, that's more of her market. I think,
100%.
you should have,
100%.
yeah, you should. I bet your King is still ain't. I bet your King is still haven't gotten her her yoga mat. She was.
I know, and she would not let her leave with that mat. I mean, come on, Sheree. Like, Sheree, damn, you can't give away a mat. I'm like, really, Sheree? She took that thing back. I'm just
Sure,
like, it's too much here, too much.
yeah, because Sheree said you wasn't there to help me foot that bill, that Fendi bill Marla had me pay. I can't afford to give you this mat.
Oh my God, I cannot. But let me tell you this: Sheree has always been in shape. And hands down, Sheree is like in tip top shape. Kandi
Mm-hmm.
said that scene lasted a lot longer, and that's why she started crying. I can believe that. And she even mentioned how she got Marlo a show, and Marlo said, "I never wanted to be on TV." I heard about that whole situation, how she tried to help Marlo. What happened was Marlo preferred to get the Bravo check. She didn't want to do grassroots and start on her own show and work
Mm-hmm.
his way up. So, Kandi was always trying to help her. And I will say this, Kandi, I don't care what they say about her. Wholeheartedly, I do believe that Kandi is really a very supportive friend. And even we're going to get to that scene when they went to the fragrance place where Kenya even said that. So MH, how you doing? Welcome.
Hello, Grey
Hey,
Hair
how are
Diva.
you?
I just actually called in just to make that point. Candy was very upset. She said the reason why she cried isn't the fact that the producers made her look crazy, in the sense that she said that it took a long time for her to get to that point. But what really hurt her is that she tried to explain to Marlo, think about the things that I've done for you, I haven't even done for my own people. I gave you a whole show on a different network. I set that up for you. And all of those things, like, people don't just do that for people they don't care about, or people they're not invested in their well-being or their future. People don't just do that. So she was saying, that's the kind of stuff I've done for you. She was being real with her, even though she knows this is a reality show and, they're making this a storyline. But she tried to be real with her and say to her, listen, honey, like, this is what we've actually been through together, and this is how I've tried to support you. However, Marlo turned around and said to her, I didn't even want to be on TV. She's on a reality show, and she said, I didn't even want to be on TV. Why
Yeah,
did you give me the show?
Marlo is a mess. But wait, Dr. Love, welcome to the show. You saying Kandi is boring? See, y'all can't be doing this to Kandi now. We gonna fight.
She is,
Yes,
but
yes,
she still don't deserve what they giving her.
The issue is,
yes.
if Candy's boring, what are Sheree and freaking Marlo? Like, if
Sheree is
they're so
boring.
boring, they are making Candy's friendship a storyline. Like, Candy, okay, she can be boring, but these two are making her friendship a storyline.
They
Like,
I'm not.
how
are.
does that make it
So
sense?
wait, so hold on, guys. Dr. Love, why is Kandi boring?
Okay, so I've been watching The Real Housewives since season one, and
Uh-huh.
I believe she came in season two with Marlo. And remember when her and Nene always would get into it? She was not boring back then, and even the one time when she had so much to say about Marlo, and when they first brought Marlo on to get into it with Nene, she was not boring back then. But as the years went by, and the more company she opened, the more she how can I say, use this platform, the more she did that, the less to me she gave the show. Then when she first came on, she was prompt when she first came on. And then when Phaedra brought out of her some promptness too. But if somebody do not bring it out of her, which I think Marlo is trying to do, she's not coming with it. She's not just gonna come with the action, and I don't like that about Candy. And other than that, she's boring. Cynthia was boring. So glad she's gone. Sheree, without her being a bone collector and without her man that's in jail, she's boring. Um, yeah. So it's like Marlo is doing her best to try to be a Nene, and I really think Marlo talks to Nene.
Yeah, but the thing is, forced drama is not entertaining in itself. Like, this idea that if you create a moment, or if you insult people, go low, like below the belt. Like, she made Candy cry. She went for Kenny, who's going through a divorce. She brought up her husband. She brings up kids, mothers that are like deserted their kids. Like, those things don't make the audience love you either. Like, we don't watch it. Nene was witty. Nene was entertaining. Nene was the girl from around the way. That's why we liked her.
Mm-hmm.
Marlo doesn't have any of those. She's not naturally funny. She can't read anyone. So she's
Mm-hmm.
just attacking, attacking, attacking. That's not fun.
Marlo is, but wait, just simply said, also Sonya's son seems like a handful. Ducey is a handful. Ducey's a handful, but you know what though? That's what she got. She got to change around some things and make sure Ducey listens. Sonya caressing Juice here after she pulled up last scene was very passive aggressive. We're going to get to that. Sonya is very flip floppy. And I
Mm-hmm.
didn't catch it. I guess no. Oh, you know what? I did catch it. I'm sorry. Somebody's I don't know who that is that noise is
Is
coming
is
from.
that me? I'll go out and come back in.
Okay, go out and come back in.
Okay.
Okay. So, and yes, you know what? Now that you're reminding me, Sheree was wrong. She did body shame Drew, right? Sheree called you a busted can of biscuits, but Sheree has gotten multiple plastic surgeries. Um, has Sheree gotten plastic surgery? I always known Sheree to just be in tip top shape. She works out. I didn't know Sheree got plastic surgery, but if Sheree did, her surgeon did a good job.
Yeah, and she
And that
kept up
booty
with
is
it.
on point.
I'm
Huh?
back, Diva.
Okay.
Sheree, she got it after she had those children, but she did keep up with it. That's another part of it as well with Sheree.
Okay. I just thought it was all Sheree just working out. Okay. So Sheree got her business manager. Hopefully we get to see She by Sheree. And I will say this, some pieces that she was trying on when she was talking to the business manager, the jacket was cute. So hopefully we'll see some good stuff for her and not just keep hearing about the name.
But
Now,
Diva, they saying that there's nothing on the website yet, and she launched it in December.
oh my God. Come on, Sheree. I cannot do this for her. So this business manager is messy then. What is going on? This is not good. So is the site She by Sheree?
I think so.
Yes.
Let me look it up.
Oh my God, we're gonna have to go on Sheree's Instagram. She needs to stop. Now let's go to this scene where Marlo is with the boys.
Oh shit, it's on
What
Etsy.
it is on Etsy?
Yeah, but this is very much given like first 4 seasons of Sheree or first like 10 seasons
Oh
because
my
this stuff like
goodness.
used. Like
Ew.
Oh
people
God, we're gonna have to keep our ears out and look at this. But Marlo's with the boys, right? And she's starting to say she said that once the boys had that phone call with the mom, they started acting up. Um, here's the thing with that situation. It's always hard when you have when you're adopting children or you're taking care of a family member's child, they're going to go through a lot. You really have to be prepared when you adopt someone, you're going to be a foster child. You really have to be prepared to go through the roller coaster ride with them because it's not
Mm.
going to be easy. And I'm sure
Yes.
it's their mother, right? And
Mm-hmm.
if
Hmm.
I remember correctly on that phone call, their mother blamed Marlo for being where she was.
Mm.
And
Hmm.
the boys heard that. And I don't
Hmm.
think that's probably sitting well with the boys, even though in their right mind, they probably thinking, my mother is not well, but at the same time, it's their mother. I
Hmm.
don't know. What did y'all think about that short scene when she was talking to the boys and when she pretty much said, like, the boys been acting up every day?
I mean, it's natural. They're like teenagers, so like even with let's say even if the mama thing didn't happen, like I feel like it's normal for them to kind of just act out a little bit. I guess the mom situation exacerbated it,
Mm.
so Marlo shouldn't be so quick to kind of just I don't know feel like panic like oh if I don't do something they're gonna like get worse. Like let them kind of just get it out of their system, then talk to them about it, and then move forward.
I think they need to see a professional.
Agreed. Yes.
I don't think what Marlo's giving
That's
them, that
true.
tough love that she probably got from her mum that she wasn't happy with growing up, is the way to go with these boys. Because a lot of the stuff that she talks about is, oh, when I was growing up, I had it harder than you. Like she keeps on emphasizing that point. But these kids have gone through a mother that's gone to jail and a very, very rough life before they came to live with you. So
That's true.
this assumption that she's had a harder life than they have isn't true. And the preview saying I kicked them out is disgusting.
It is disgusting.
It's
I don't
It
think
is
she
disgusting.
kicked them
Oh
out.
disgusting.
I don't
yeah.
think she kicked them out.
No, but even the fact that you're saying I spend money with them, they came from McDonald's, I gave them this, I make it life too easy for them. Like all of this stuff, they're
Hmm.
young kids, and when they grow up, they're gonna see this and they're gonna resent her and the mother.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't like that either, whether she kicked them out or not. I just thought it was inappropriate.
Oh,
It's just
Hmm.
it's
I didn't like that
heartbreaking.
upcoming scene. It didn't make me feel soft and pink. I wasn't feeling good about that. And
Mm-mm.
but what I do know is, and like you said, Smoke, you're right. They're teenagers, so regular teenagers that are not even have as much history as they have. They go through stuff. So you just gotta wait it out. And so she should know that they went through even more. So she has to wait it out. But let's go to this fragrance maker shop and that whole scene where it's Kandi.
Ooh, I love that scene.
Is Marlo. And how do you say her name? Moyetta? Moneta. Okay, so the
Kenya, the scent shop.
Say that again.
You meant when they went to the scent shop? You mean Kenya, not Marlo?
Oh, that's right, Kenya, not Marlo. You were absolutely right. So it was Kenya, it was Kandi, and it was the new introduction. We get to see Neo's a baby mother.
Yes,
because I don't think they ever got married, right? And she has 2 kids, and so we get to see her. She's introduced to the scene, and Kandi and Kenya kind of get into it at this fragrance shop. Go ahead, Smoke. What do you want to say about that scene?
Kenya was 100% right. And the thing about it is that kind of annoyed me. I'm loving Kenya this season. I haven't liked her in the past.
A lot of seasons, right?
But this season, I can like stomach her and enjoy her. Like she's more balanced with the shade and not as mean. And as far as this scene with Kandi has a problem when people call her out on her stuff on when she is wrong. And she goes through circles, backflips, and somersaults to try to make it right. And even when Kenya was like trying to talk to her about it, and she was trying to be like, well, you said something in front of my husband, and I felt some kind of way, but I was like, no, you didn't. Stop lying. Like, if you really felt something about it, you would have said it in that moment. So the fact
exactly.
Smoke, I have a question. Do you feel like Kandi goes back to her team and they are the one that give her the info? Like, do you remember 5 seasons ago when she was doing that? It feels like Kandi always goes back to her team, and her team say, "Oh, this is how you should defend yourself." Like, if they're gonna accuse you of doing that, it's like it seems so contrived sometimes. It's like what she said, like Kenya said 3 seasons ago at that end. It wasn't such a big deal, but for her to bring it out, for her to say about the movie
well, you know what?
like, that stuff seems contrived. Like, you went back to your little.
I think she had to dig in the treasure box. No, I think she had to dig in the treasure box because they keep coming for her. And so, but here's the thing: people can evolve, right? You're supposed to grow with time, and so then she's not accepting Kenya's growth. Ever since Kenya had Brooklyn, she's a whole different person, in my opinion.
Exactly.
Right? So yes, Kenya was that girl back then. But that's not who she is now. And if she doesn't want these vibrating panties on, she don't want these vibrating panties on. But wait a minute.
I don't think that's true, Gray. I think Kenya's the same girl, but I just think the vibrating Nikki's
was too much.
Thing was extreme. For
okay, wait a minute, y'all.
Cool.
Y'all saying she didn't change, but it wasn't extreme.
I'm saying
when she was back. Right, when it wasn't extreme when she was back and she let Apollo throw her in the swimming pool.
That was bad too. That was bad too.
That's why I'm saying she changed.
But I don't think she's overtly sexual. I just think for Apollo, it was a storyline. She was trying to get her name out there. She was trying to be the next.
No, she was feeling Apollo, and Apollo was feeling her. Let's not
lie. Like, they knew they were being recorded. Yeah. They were doing the most. Like, they were getting under Phaedra's skin. She was doing it, but I don't think she's ever been the type of person. Like, she wasn't happy when they came to the house.
We got to take you down memory lane. She's been that girl. Now remember with that young guy she dated that ended up going crazy and he knocked out the light in her driveway. She had sex with him in his truck. Come on now, don't act like Kenya wasn't that girl.
His pickup truck.
Kenya was that girl, but I think she's changed. Now let's not forget now. But wait, let me say this real quick. Doc Willie, we're gonna get there. And yes, I did see Todd looking at Sheree's booty. At least that's what the production made it look like. So yes, I did.
No, he was looking at her booty like he was oogling it on that phone call too. He's like, wait a minute.
Exactly.
Because Sheree's butt, does it normally look like that? I know it's big, but those leggings were something else.
Yeah, they look good though. They were fitted. They were fit.
To go back to that Kandi argument. Kandi do not like you to come for her when it comes to anything sexual. And I've been picked up on that. When you come for her with something sexual, she gets upset. And she's going to defend herself to the moon turn blue. Yeah.
Because she believes everybody was a freako like her back in the day.
That's what I'm thinking.
And it's
See,
like,
y'all
yes,
so wrong. Y'all dogging Candy.
That's
Wait,
what I'm
Sebastian, I
thinking.
redropped the link. Sebastian. But see, y'all doing Candy dirty. You're doing Candy dirty.
how?
Candy has to defend herself, okay? You
But
gotta
who told
defend
her to
herself.
do it? You only
Diva,
defend
how much
yourself
is Candy dropping in your Cash App and your Venmo and your Zelle account? How much is she giving? How much she giving you? All DMs
She
don't
gets
start
no.
with
You know
me.
what? Smoke her payment is
Hey,
candy coded
Sebastian.
products. She gets all the sex products she needs. Gray, tell us the truth.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, say that again.
Did she pay you in her sex products that she gets?
Her toy line.
Yeah, her toy
You
line.
send me some bathing panties too? And some lipstick?
The pyramid scheme that she's got going on.
They be trying to
Gray's right up there.
play.
She's on the
They
top.
be trying to play out Candy a little bit too much. But so they get into it at this fragrance maker place. I don't know how Moyetta is going to really fit in, but I guess we have to kind of wait and see. But you know, her husband was there with her. Did y'all see her husband was there in the cut at the Drop It With Drew event?
Yeah, when they were driving away.
Yeah, and Candy, you know, again, she had her she got her Candy Cares program. So don't be trying to act like Candy don't, you know, do stuff. Okay.
Does she talk about her Candy Cares or does she talk about vibrating butt plugs?
She could have just said to them, "I'm donating on your behalf."
Okay.
Oh, and you know what, Marlo need parenting classes. And I hope she do have those boys in her in some type of therapy for what they're going through.
That's what
because
I said,
what they're going through is real.
Yes.
Can I say something? Everybody
Of
keeps on
course.
talking about Kenya has to work for her check. What about the producers? Why are we not talking about Sheree's missing mama?
Her missing. Oh yeah, that did happen.
Why is that not part of the storyline? Why didn't they force Sheree to come on screen and tell us, why did you tell us your mom was missing, and what happened, and how was she rescued from her?
I think that
Her
might be towards the
mother
end
has
of the
a mental
season.
illness.
But you know what I
Her
thought
mother
though?
has
I
a
thought
mental illness.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, right? Her mom, her mom has something going on. And I do believe the mother lives with her.
But that's real life. That's what we
And
want to
dementia.
see. The house is in your mom's name. Let's talk about the fact that your mom disappeared, and let's talk about your real life. Her kids have only been on the show once.
Hey everyone, how are you guys?
In passing.
Hey, Sebastian.
Hey,
Okay,
Sebastian.
I see y'all are rooting for Kenya more, and I told you guys, you're not gonna disrespect the queen.
No one disrespected her.
Yes, we like Kenya
that
this
Kenya
year.
was that girl. Kenya was always the queen. She was always nice. It just don't come for her, and she won't twirl for you.
She was always the queen of what?
Sebastian, have you been drinking? She was always
Right.
nice. She was always that
nice.
girl.
She was
No.
always nice.
No.
Kenya- wait,
Kenya has
Sebastian.
evolved.
From her.
Kenya
Yes.
was very messy.
And
Yeah.
she will twirl for you.
Remember how she bullied Kim?
Exactly. But not only that, Ken Fields, that's right. And
Yeah.
Kenya was in another woman's husband face, okay? Kenya's on the line with Apollo.
Apollo could have kept it in his pants. Okay, so we could talk about Apollo's
Neither could Kenya.
Yeah. Kenya has involved because of that girl, that little girl, and she
Yeah.
I will say
herself,
Brooklyn has changed
I
her
will
heart.
not be that mother that these other mothers are, or are now. She will not allow her daughter to look back years to see, these things.
But wasn't she getting aggressive with Marlo today? Like in the same episode?
Marlo deserves it. Marlo's being messy.
Yeah, but you guys are acting like she evolved so much. Wasn't she doing the same thing?
Stop. Marlo needs to stop. All she said was,
"Where's your husband?"
Marlo is starting. 10 minutes later, Marlo's saying how she doesn't come for people's husbands and kids. 10 minutes later, she's saying how she doesn't come for people's husbands or kids.
Sebastian, come on now. Marlo was just being Kenya when Kenya was like in her earlier seasons.
She went
getting in
after
people's
everybody's
faces,
husband.
everybody's husband, everybody's like job.
Who was in
is
a
this
relationship,
legitimate?
had
So
a business.
Kenya can't really talk. Marlo's just doing what she's done on the show.
Exactly.
Right.
That's the worst.
But
That
wait,
makes her a
guys, let me
follower. Why don't she make
introduce.
herself something? Why don't she just make a name for herself that makes her a follower if she's following Kenya?
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
so
Kenya
wait,
Oh
has
guys, let
God.
something
me
to lose now.
introduce this scene. So we get
Mm.
to the drop it with Drew event.
Oh, God.
You know what? Here's the thing. I something about Drew I do like.
Mm.
She seems like she's legitimate ditzy. Like she's just legitimate. Like something is a little off
Mm.
there. But I do like Drew, right?
Right.
And what I appreciate is Drew didn't stoop as low as Sanya. She allows Sanya to come to the event, right?
Yep.
And
Mm.
Sanya is so flip floppy. So now you want to be all in Ralph face. Now you okay, and you want to give Drew a second chance. It was just a little bit messy for me, right? So she went up to
Mhm.
Ralph and she's talking to Ralph about how how her and her husband, are not on this in sync with having a baby. And so she was talking to Ralph, and then she ends up, apologizing to Drew and trying to make friends with Drew. Todd, I think he definitely was looking at the booty, at Sheree's booty. So Todd
Mhm.
has wondering eyes. Todd has wondering eyes,
You mean
Mhm.
right?
You mean Marvin?
Wait,
You, you mean you mean Marvin? Get it right, Diva. It's Marvin.
I bumped into there. I was like, what are you talking about? Oh, don't do that to Todd. Don't do that to Todd.
I'm not
Hey,
gonna lie to you.
man.
The only compliment he's ever
Hey
given Candy on the
man.
show is about her butt. So he likes
Wait,
big butts.
he likes the booty, right?
Mhm.
So then here's the thing. Drew is couldn't really do the
Drew is a
workout
dummy.
herself.
Drew is a
Huh?
dummy.
That's the
How
issue.
are you gonna be having your husband vibrating this woman's coochie, and then she comes up and she's caressing him on the shoulder?
Shoulder. Yeah. But
Right.
that's
I
a
was so
Caribbean thing.
uncomfortable watching that. That's
Mhm.
probably the
Wait,
best
It's a cultural
Sanya has
thing.
ever looked.
Wait, what did
wait,
we miss?
was Ralph the one that was vibrating the panties in the
Yes,
bus?
Ralph was
Yes, he
vibrating the
was.
panties. I do not believe that it was actually her
Oh.
husband. I think it was Ralph. We saw him playing with his phone. He's
Yeah.
I
that
remember when
tight.
she says, "Oh, your friend has been acting like that." He was like, "Who's my friend?" Ralph is for the streets.
Sonya looked the
Mm.
cutest she has looked the entire season. She had her little abs
In the
out.
workout
She
gear.
looked really, really good in this episode. And
Mm.
nobody's getting on her for massaging that man's arm or sorry,
It
shoulder.
could be a cultural thing. It could be a cultural thing, man.
No, Sebastian,
No,
we're not
Sebastian,
going
you
for
full of
that.
shit.
Yep.
I don't
Jamaicans
like
in the
Sanya.
house.
I don't
Live
like
chat.
Sanya.
Come on.
I don't like Sanya, but it could be a cultural thing.
I
Because
have
there's certain
I have
cultures
West Indian friends. They don't rub on my shoulder like that, and especially for that long.
And especially because Sonya doesn't like people talking with their hands, right? Because she got
Ooh.
all on Drew. She got all on Drew because Drew was putting her hands in Sheree's face. So that's why she just couldn't be friends with Drew. So then you need to keep your hands to yourself too, baby girl.
But
Get
that's an
your hands off
aggressive
my
Defend
finger.
husband.
Drew.
Sharon,
That's
hold
like
on
an
one second,
aggressive
guys.
finger
Sharon,
and
thank
a
you so much for
caressing
the super
finger.
chat
I
there. I
kind of
really
different.
do appreciate it.
Sorry.
Okay, go ahead, guys. So yeah,
No, I
she
was gonna
was
say
too
I feel
touchy
like an
feely. Go ahead.
aggressive
I'm sorry.
finger and a caressing finger are two different things.
Mhm.
Okay. Let me rephrase. Because I think
Mm.
what's missing here is sex appeal. If Kenya had done that to any of their husbands, they would be re-crucifying this woman. I
Very
think that
true.
they're
Man, amen, man.
You guys make
Man.
out like Kenya is the most beautiful woman in the world. Sanya is gorgeous.
She
Like, if
was.
women...
In 1993, they
Oh
named her the most
God.
beautiful woman in
USA,
America.
not in
Oh
the
my
world.
God.
USA,
USA.
not
Listen,
in the
wait.
world.
Give me 1 second, guys. So Sharon, you can email me. I think my email is on here somewhere. If not, I'm gonna put it. I'll put it in the I'll put it in the comments before we end. But yes, you can email me, and I am on IG too. So if you want to
Okay.
send me a message via IG. So let's hold on 1 second. Let's do this. Drew is a nice looking girl, right?
Mhm.
There's some tweaks that need to be made. I don't think her makeup is always on point. Her clothing most of the time is tragic, right? The clothing most of the time is tragic. Even for her own event, I think she could have had a better workout outfit.
She has
But
10
Drew,
assistants.
Her wig.
huh?
You're forgetting the
10
wig.
assistants.
Oh well, yeah, the wigs are tragic, but
Her
you
wigs
know,
are better this season.
are they?
I
Yeah.
think
She
so.
is
Mhm,
wearing
I think so.
she's wearing go naked hair, but the problem that I see with this is it's not who you are. You kind of morphed into what Portia's did. You wear the same kind of, like, I think they call it a natural beat. It's where
Mm.
they slim out your nose and they, they edit your cheekbone. Now you're wearing Portia's weave. You're like a low rent Portia, and Portia's low rent, so that's like really low.
That's why they need Nene back. Nene kept all that in check when it came to that hair and that makeup.
No,
She
she did
was
not.
the
God
one.
help
Wait,
us.
what?
Oh my God.
But let me say this, Nene, we gotta every Nene fan, we gotta let that go because Nene will never be back.
Nini's
Oh yeah,
60.
Nene blew
Nini's
up the
60.
bridge. She didn't burn the
Nini's
bridge. She
60.
blew
Amen.
it up. It doesn't
She
exist
doesn't need to
Amen.
be
anymore.
on the show. She's 60
Amen.
years old. She has nothing. What would Nini
Did you
and
say
Drew talk about?
60?
She's close to 60.
Oh
She's
my
pushing
God.
60. What
Don't
would
do that,
Nini and
y'all.
Drew
Don't
talk
do
about?
that,
I'm
y'all.
sorry.
I am coming for
I'm
elder
sorry.
leagues.
They
I
have
am
nothing
coming for elder
common.
leagues. What's she gonna do? She ain't gonna check this boo.
No, come on, y'all. Don't do that to Nene. Let me tell you something.
Listen,
If
her
Nene
and her little
didn't burn
African
her
man need to
own
go sit
bridge,
somewhere.
Right.
she still would be a good fit on the show. Now, y'all want to
No,
tell
I
me
don't
that
think so. The
Drew?
last couple of seasons, don't you think she was horrible, Gray?
She was
Let me tell you something,
terrible.
bro. But
She was terrible.
do y'all think Drew and Sanya is better than Cynthia?
Combined, maybe.
by
Cynthia and her
All
little
of
Sanya.
them
creepy
By
combined.
white
I'm
Sanya.
sorry,
guys were
Diva.
a bit
As much as
boring.
I do love Cynthia, but they bring a little bit more than Cynthia did.
Cynthia just
I
gives
like
face.
Sanya's family. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I really like
Sanya.
Sanya's family.
I
When
like her
she's with her
mama.
parents, when she's
Yeah,
with
her
the
mama, I
sister,
love.
I like it. I like to be able to see people. Like Sheree's not giving us family. Marlo's not giving us family. Like we
Marlo
need
doesn't have a
somebody to.
family. Kid.
Kenya is not giving us family besides Brooklyn. I like to see like older adults that are in the family. I like to see Marlo's little two nephews.
But
It makes me
But most of them don't have family.
yeah,
yeah,
that's
If you
what
like
think
it adds
about
to
it.
their
so
scenes.
wait, hold on now. We gotta give you the family we got. So Marlo has Brooklyn. You know, we saw Brooklyn. Brooklyn didn't want
Kenya.
to finish telling
Yeah.
the days of the week
Yeah.
because she was eating.
Yeah.
Brooklyn is a cutie pie. You know, Marlo has the nephews. We just
I
need
said
her
that.
to develop that a little bit more.
She
Yeah,
kicked
but
them out.
but
She kicked them out next episode. You see, she kicked them
It's
out.
awkward.
Let's watch the full scene first before we jump to judgment. Damn.
I don't want to see Marlo.
Baby,
I
I'm
don't
like,
want to see
Nene would
Marlo's
be
nephews
perfect for the
anymore.
show. Look at her personal life. Oh, you know what? You are right, yet. Now listen to this, everybody, right? At this moment, if Nene didn't mess up, she would be perfect for the show, right?
She would.
Because she
Oh
got
yes.
this boyfriend who's married, and the woman is suing her. This would be good stuff,
Okay,
okay?
can I ask you guys a question?
Yeah.
One of the reasons why we didn't end up, I love Nene. I watch all the old episodes for her. Like I'm not
You
saying
can
it's
catch her on BET
but the
Plus.
only issue with her Nene is that is she willing to open herself up to criticism? Because as soon as she comes on the show with her married man and her like drama with her son's mother, Kenya and all of those girls are gonna come for her, and Nene cannot stand that. That's the problem
Oh
with
well.
coming on the
Kenya's
show.
not
care.
gonna
Is she's just gonna go and shut down
But
and
I feel
do
like
what she was doing the last couple of reunions where she's not engaging, is because she can't allow other people to criticize her the way she did a lot of other people, like with Kim and other people. She went after them. She doesn't allow that to happen. So we bring her on the show with the African guy. The African guy probably promotes his little business, but when it comes to her interactions with the ladies or her opening up, we're not going to get it. So what is the purpose?
I
She
Wait,
mean,
because
Punch
knows.
said she
I'm
would.
sorry, really, really quick. Can I redirect? Because you started off saying how much you love Nene, but then you just gave every reason why she is not going to be real on the show.
I
Ooh.
know, I'm sorry. It's like I love the old Nene. That's what I mean. I love the old Nene.
We need
But
season 1 face Nene.
yeah, before the nose job, Nene.
Yeah.
But Nene knows she would
You
have
know
to
what?
bring it
You know what?
different
Unfortunately, we'll
than
never
she is this
know, right?
time.
We'll never know what she could have did or would have did. But I don't think she would have. You know, Nene knew how to get in people's face too. She got down with the get down. For most of her time on RHOA, except towards the very end, because I think she knew all the ladies at that point were
Hated
coming
her.
for her because they had enough of her, and she had no allies. And I think she didn't know how to handle, because that was the first time in her life she didn't know how to handle not having somebody kissing her behind. So I think that would
Exactly.
happen. with Nene. But let's
That's
go this
okay.
in here too.
Carlos will get her.
Huh?
I said, that's
Wait, what did
okay.
you say?
Carlos will be picking her up. I said, that's okay. Carlos will get her.
Well, I don't know
Carlos,
if Carlos has Nene money. She's still a little delusional.
She's
She's
on
still
BT
requesting
Plus.
big checks.
BET Plus.
Well,
She's on
actually, she
BET
did have
Plus.
some personal issues with Carlos. They had a falling out before he left.
Mm.
She didn't really want to cooperate with him as the executive producer. So
Mm.
oh yeah, for
I
letting them
don't know
go in her
why he would
closet.
want to take her back on. Additionally, we've seen Carlos try to bring on a fallen reality star,
Oh,
and the
God.
result is very low ratings.
It's
So
tragic.
Oh, Monique
Monique is,
Samuels.
I'm sorry.
Monique Samuels.
Yes.
Exactly.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Even
They
though I love the other couples, and I like that you
But
didn't
he's
review.
delusional too, so they would match.
who you said Carlos King?
He's delusional too. Yeah, he's a
Yeah.
whole mess.
Yeah.
Yeah, he will take Mimi on in a whole hot minute.
Diva,
Yeah.
have you watched his new show?
What? Nightcap?
Yes.
Yeah, I watch it.
Let me give you an honest critique.
Okay. Yeah.
I
Good.
feel like Carlos always had a personality, but I think he's trying to play it up times 10 for the cameras, and
Mm-hmm.
it's too much. Like,
Exactly.
I think he thinks of
Exactly.
himself as one of the
The
reality
girls.
stars as opposed to being a producer. Andy, it
Mm-hmm.
took a while for Andy to get that. At least for the first few years of his show, Andy tried to kind of
To
keep
be
it
professional.
professional. Carlos is not, and it's like you have mirrored Andy's
Right.
career completely. The
Mm-hmm.
reality
Right.
show, not the reality shows, but the night show, whatever it's called, the nightcap is
Mm-hmm.
just watch what
Mm-hmm.
happens live, but for Oprah's network. His podcast is all about the same thing. These are all the same steps that Andy took. You're gonna need to do something different to differentiate yourself because at the end of the day, you got Monique getting you 250,000 viewers on a
Yeah.
primetime slot. That's
Yeah. Yeah. And,
at the
and and
height.
he's trying to defend it too. He's trying to defend it.
Mm-hmm.
But not only
Mm-hmm.
that, that chair is swallowing him up on that set. It's like drowning him. It's drowning
And he
him.
struggles to speak. Like he
He
struggles to say certain words, and it's just lisp, 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 lisps. I'm like, oh,
Because he's already drunk. He's already drunk right behind that thing started.
Y'all
Exactly.
saying you have a reading comprehension problem?
I
Oh my
But
think
she
God.
said it
But
right.
wait,
But she
even
said
on
it
his
right. He
let's
needs
podcast,
to be
throw
more
this. Let's throw
initial
this
professional.
in there. That
What?
was
Okay.
very scary. That happened at the event where
Mhm.
Kandi and Todd had to leave early because there was someone at their home. Somebody that was, I think, mentally not stable because they were
Mhm.
saying, they was T.I.'s son. And did you catch that she said Katrina was there with the kids and that's
Mhm.
her friend? I'm gonna need Kandi to hire nannies, and she hires a lot of people she knows because Kandi is like budget friendly. Okay, that's a,
Mhm.
a better way of
Todd
saying
said
she's
it was
cheap.
the nanny.
Todd said it was the nanny, but Kandi said it was
She
her
said
friend.
it's a friend.
That's a
Yeah.
friend. She's
Yeah,
she's cheap as hell. You can say it, Diva.
yep, yeah,
She's
she's
not
cheap.
cheap. She's not cheap.
She's
Listen,
cheap. I
Boy.
love Kandi,
stop.
but she's
She's
cheap.
not cheap.
It,
I feel like
it,
she
it,
wants to put money in her friends' pockets. That's
Yeah, I
not a
think that's
negative
it
thing.
too.
Like
She
I
go
Well,
here
really
to
but
believe in
push
you
it.
that.
know what though? That's nice though. But then here's the thing with these reality stars. It's like when you get on TV like this, you're being exposed, right? And
Mm.
they're probably going to need really, especially with all. We're not going to say, there's some questions with some of these robberies, but then there's other robberies where it truly happened, right? They need 24-hour armed security to circle where they live. And it just, that kid scared me for the simple fact of do you remember there's a couple of actresses where literally crazy fans walked right up on them, like to their buildings, to where they live, and took their lives. I was very scared about, this situation that happened. I didn't like it. It was just crazy. And my thing is, did he get beyond the gate? I was still
Candy
confused
said
about
on her
that.
show. Candy said on her show that there's a community. The way they were explaining it, there's a community gate, so it's a gated
Mm-hmm.
community, and then he
Mm-hmm.
got through that, and he got through the gate, the actual gate, and
Wow.
that was the issue. So he got through two
He was at the
barriers.
gate talking through the gate to that nanny,
Yeah,
saying
she
that,
Right.
recorded
oh,
him.
I'm T.I.'s son, He sent me here. We got
Yeah.
a record deal going. He was at Candy's them gate talking to the nanny through the gate as the
Yeah,
nanny
she
was
said he was
calling
mentally ill.
911. Mm-hmm.
Well, we know that, right? Because we know it wasn't T.I.'s son, and we know Candy didn't send him there. But the fact that he got so close was a
Mhm.
problem. Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. But I do remember Kim said that. Kim said that Candy lived in the hood. But
I
yes,
want to
you don't
live
have
in
to
that type
remind
of
us of
hood.
that. Yes.
Ray,
Um,
please, when I come to America, I want to live in the same hood that Candy lives in, please.
I know, right? In that beautiful home. Yeah, he
Hmm.
showed up on the Ring camera. That's how she got the information. Oh, wait, you know what? Dot, thank you. Dot Willie. I remember. Todd said the guy jumped the fence into the community. Yes, and he
Yeah.
said he was Amazon. Were you Amazon jumping a fence? Like that was very scary. It was
Mm.
crazy. Um,
He had a bag with him.
yeah.
He was
This
ready.
whole thing was scary. The nanny said
Also,
he
she
was
was
sitting on the
T.I.'s
porch.
son.
Yes, Deborah, thank you. Everybody's reminding us. These are all details, right? This is crazy. He
He also
jumped
said
the
he was
fence.
T.I.'s son. He also said he was T.I.'s son.
Yeah, he said he was T.I.'s son. He was sitting on the porch. Like, and then she called the cops. And I feel like she was slow to make the phone call. I don't know for sure. But I feel like it took a minute to call 911. You watching my kids.
I
And
never
so
want to
you
call.
think,
Yeah, but he's a black man. Maybe she didn't want to call the police on him. You know how
It
that
oh,
is.
I'm
ain't
sorry.
got nothing to do with that when it come
Oh
down
no.
to no creeper at jumping the gate and sitting on my porch.
Yeah,
Talking
but you
about
Right.
always want to make
they
sure
some
that what you're doing is the right move.
So I'm
it
sorry.
is
Yeah, go ahead.
I,
it is the right move when you come to I listen, I don't have a gate in front of my house. And you
Neither.
come and if you come up on my porch and
mhm.
saying that you some Kinder Beyonce and T.I. your daddy, you just better hope I just do call the police. That's the best bet. Cause
I
that's
would turn it to
scary and that's
Karen real quick.
that what? Karen on you real quick. Or Karen,
Honestly.
or they'll be calling them on me to investigate because her kids were there. You know, that's that. Yeah, you don't hesitate calling the police
Exactly.
in situations like that.
No, you don't. And listen, Best Eye is right. It's the right move when you have two gates and he bypassed all of them. No, you got to call the cops. You're done. I'm sorry.
I would
And,
Is
get.
and,
I
Atlanta
and
would.
if
not
I'm
safe?
wrong,
See,
and if
that's why
I'm
you should
wrong,
never
I'll
leave your kids
apologize
with me.
later.
People like me should not have kids to be looked. No, I would have asked questions. I would have invited him in. I would have been like, "What's
Mm-mm.
the issue?
Girl,
Do
and
you
you
want to
wouldn't be
drink?"
talking to us right now. That's why they got that Ring doorbell. So you speak to them right through the doorbell. Who are you? Why are you here? How did you get past the gates? Deborah, you are right. Was there no security at the gate? This whole situation is
They said he
crazy and it was very
pretended to be an
scary.
Amazon delivery guy.
You know what? That's right. He did. He
Yeah.
did. He did. And then she
He
said
looked
she
like he
found
had
out.
on an Amazon outfit.
Or an
Child.
Amazon truck.
He probably
He
worked for
did.
Amazon for a day or two, and then they fired him, and then he going around being crazy. Yeah, this is crazy. Well, listen, we gotta address this. Do you think that production was being shady, or do you think that Todd was looking at the booty?
Todd was looking at her booty.
He glanced
Todd
over there a
is
little bit.
highly sexual. He is
Mm-hmm.
he is highly sexual.
Yeah,
And
he
Candy
is.
is trying to keep that hid and on wrap, okay, with all her vibrators. Hmm.
Yeah, Todd got a wondering eye. Um,
Marvin has a wandering eye. Diva. I keep saying
you right.
Marvin.
You
Oh,
smoke,
not
don't do
Marvin.
that. You right.
Marvin has a wandering eye.
That's why him and Phaedra husband hung together. What is his name?
Apollo.
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 Yes, them two. Oh my
But
goodness.
apparently,
Yes.
them and Peter used to be up in the
Peter
strip club
too.
all the time.
Yes. And Peter
Candy
also.
was there with him. Candy was there with him. Remember, Candy started dry snitching on Peter when he tried to play like he was just paying for everybody to get the lap dances. Candy said, "No, I saw you. The girl was in your lap." They, Candy doesn't. I don't think Candy will mind if Todd take a little glimpse over there at Sheree. It was a nice
Without
booty.
her,
No.
without her,
No.
yes, she would.
Look.
Oh yeah. Has to
Oh,
be
she
with her.
want to look with. She want to look
She want to
with.
look, touch, and feel with Todd too.
Where
Oh.
Gamma says she trusts Marvin. Gamma says she trusts Marvin. Yeah, they did call the law enforcement because I think that was time when they was outside of the event, a Jew event. He was talking to the law enforcement, right?
Yeah, the two black ladies.
Yes.
Why
Yeah.
did all of them run outside to be so nosy? Like, did production tell them everybody go out? Like,
No, Marlo kept on saying, "Let's be nosy." She's the one that started like
that's what it
everybody
looked
going out.
like.
No, I
Because
think
Mark,
they was legit concerned, right? Because you
No,
see,
Marlo said, "Let's
Todd
be
was like,
nosy."
Candy, come on. And then he said, no, get your phone.
Get
And
your
then
phone,
so
yeah.
they're all looking. I would have went outside too to be like, well, what's happening? What's going on? Y'all okay?
But do you? I would have thought that if you're on a reality show, maybe you think immediately. My go-to would be thinking something's really happened. They don't want the cameras on them. Let's stay here and keep,
Right.
Marlo
I
trying to
feel
show
like
her how to
Candy
be
like
a
was
I
trying
felt
to
friend.
like
tell
that.
us.
Imagine
They
it had been something really bad,
they trying to
and
show
they
her how to be
dragged
a
the cameras
friend.
with them
Okay, don't
outside.
do that. I caught
No,
that. I
no,
saw what you
no,
said. I
no.
saw what
But
you
look,
said.
I'm not agreeing with it. But I'm just saying, going off of what Sheree, Marlo is my least favorite person on television at this point. Well, no, Sanya is,
Damn.
but
I love Marlo.
Marlo, they trying to show her they trying to show her how to be a good friend. You know, your friend go out looking a little worried and distraught or something, look like something going on. You supposed to go and support, just like you were supposed to call Sheree
She was
twice.
being nosy.
You supposed to call Sheree twice this season, Candy.
Pure D nosiness.
Wait,
But then,
so she was supposed to call after Tyrone, and then when else was she supposed to call?
She supposed to call in and tell her that the man say you can't pay, that you don't pay your stuff.
oh god,
Candy done dropped the ball twice with Sheree.
pretty much. I mean, Phaedra was saying the same thing. She's like, Candy kind of just lose context. I mean, there might be
No,
something that
Sheree
two
just
things
says
can be true at the same
whatever.
time.
She always says what the brain does. She is always pinky, and there's always a brain. Like,
Called
remember
it
when
right
Kim was
then.
saying all that shady stuff last time she was on? She's like, "Oh yeah. Kim said you're an alcoholic. Do you drink too much?" Like, she just, yeah.
That's all she do
Sheree
is
doesn't have.
laugh and say amen. I really can't. That's another one. I can't. I don't like. Well, you know, I ride for Kenya. Kenya probably the only one I'm really gonna come and defend on this show.
Well, okay, so we got a Carrie is Team Marlo.
See,
Okay,
Marlo, I know that's
Carrie.
right.
Yes, I'm Team Marlo too,
We on
Carrie.
the messy team.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Prayer changes things.
Really, y'all Team Marlo. Marlo is being very messy.
I love it.
She's doing the most, and she's doing too much.
But
You're gonna back
removing
up off of
class from the
Candy.
show.
You're gonna
She's
back up
removing
off of
class
Candy.
Oh
from
no,
the show.
go ahead,
She's
Sebastian.
removing class from the show.
The show had no class to begin with.
Right.
When has Housewives ever had class?
I'm with you. That's wrong.
No, Sebastian, thank you. She's declassing the
No.
show. Thank you,
Oh,
Sebastian.
like Kenya was always ruthless, but Kenya is still Miss USA. Marlo's just,
Oh my goodness.
Old
She
school
came on
tough.
she was so unclassed. Ugh. Like, I was scared of
Wait,
Kenya at
you
first.
know what? You know what, Deborah? Thank you. Sheree didn't tell Candy when Kim wanted to, do what you said. Okay. So we ain't putting everything on Candy's back now. There's nothing wrong with looking. Doesn't mean he wants to do anything. I think it's natural. I think Todd is faithful to you, saying he's faithful to Candy. Black Swan, you can peek, but no, Todd was staring. Todd he passed out. He was, saliva was dripping from the side of his mouth. Like, he was doing too much. And if he didn't have an emergency, it would have been a whole lot of problems. Like, he was into Sheree and that booty.
Yeah, he looked like he wanted to tap that remote.
And not only that, like, I'm faithful to my job because they pay me, and so is Todd to Candy. So of course.
Oh Lord.
Ooh.
Shots fired, bang bang.
Right.
Oh, Sugar Mama Candy will never live this down.
Somebody need to call Tyrone. Call him in my singing voice. Yeah, well, you know what? Here's the thing. Yeah. What's her name? Sheree can't call him because she got blocked. But meantime, meantime, though, we worried about Kandi not calling you. Sheree,
Wait,
please.
wait, Diva, she's not blocked. It just went to voicemail. His phone he lost power.
Oh,
Let me tell you
I have
something.
a question
Let me
for
tell
you
you
guys.
something.
I have
Even,
a
you know,
question
I'm not
about
going to
Sheree.
say I have done what Sheree is saying. Like, I blocked the person, then I unblocked them, then I blocked them again. Because, you know, it takes you a minute sometimes to get over some people. But I promise you this, if I was on TV and you had me sitting at a table, you're not getting unblocked. No, I'm going to be gangster on that TV. I'll be like, I'm not talking to him ever again. There's no way.
I
There's
won't
no
lie.
way.
Them TMZ photos look fierce with her sitting at that table looking like a mean Mary J.
They was
Blige
wrong.
and drinking that martini. I was like, you better go ahead.
Talking to
Listen,
herself.
guys, I will have a question. You guys keep saying she for by Sheree, she by Sheree. Why didn't she have anything out? But what is her source of income? I remember. Do you remember when she was fighting with her ex?
Oh, you coming out her
NFL?
pocketbook.
You know the NFL guy when she was fighting with him, trying to put him on child support.
Bob.
I remember him saying to her, "Listen, I don't have any money. We get the same money, and that's my pension from the NFL. That's what we split, basically." So, what is her other source of income? You guys expecting a line from her? Who's investing in her? Like, where does she get this money? Because her husband, like, the pension money is not enough for him. The kids are getting older. Like, what do you guys like? The child support doesn't exist. So, where do you guys expect her to get this capital from? For her
Well,
to,
Well, listen, she
just
said she has, from over the years, she said she spent tens and tens of thousands on fabric. Maybe the fabric's in her basement. I don't know. She got to get all that old fabric and stuff out in her
come
current
on.
check, her current check from RHOA, and she got to make this thing happen. Oh, y'all don't do that. Don't do
Not
that.
PPP
You said
loans.
PPP loans. You said PPP loans. Deborah, you
no,
said
remember years
PPP loans.
ago? Remember years ago they said Tyrone left that money with her years ago.
You know what? Yes. Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
is that
I
why
do
she's
remember
hanging
that.
on to him?
Yeah.
You know
But do
what?
y'all
I do
do y'all
remember
really
that.
believe that?
I
But why
do.
would this
Hmm.
no. But that means she scammed him.
Not really, because
And
she's
he's the
because
scammer.
No.
Would a scammer leave his money with you?
Well, we
Oh, if
don't know
you
whose
get they get
name that
locked
house
up
is
and
in.
I need somebody to hide my money and put some money on my books, that's the guy that's gonna leave the money with me.
Ooh, okay.
Yep.
And when I get out, I know it's gonna be there.
And do you think she used some of the money to fix her house?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
but
that's
Well,
why
that's
he
where
don't
they said
want
it
to
got
be
fixed
on
up.
that show either. That's why he don't want to be on that show either, because he don't want her to slip up and say nothing.
that's true. But here's the thing: he also might be on the deed, so it's not only Chateau Thelma, it's also Chateau Tyrone.
That's
So
what I was saying. Yeah, that's what I was
Exactly.
saying.
Listen,
He'll be in that
TNT,
basement in a
TNT.
few months.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't gonna be in that basement. He gonna be in that bedroom with her. Cause Sheree is weak for
Hey,
him.
Sheree's
Corey.
always said she wants a guy with money, though, so it makes sense.
She didn't say she didn't care where they got it from.
Well, the African
Yeah, she
man
never said
says
that. She
that
said, "Go
bone
and get
doc.
some CTE to NFL guys." So
Well, that bone doctor said she wasn't having one with or without money. She wasn't gonna have him, man. She gonna be alone.
No, he said she's gonna be by herself. He's like, you might
By
as well
herself.
give up on love.
do you remember
Yeah.
when she was with the love doctor?
You know, wait, King, I still haven't looked that up. You are killing me with that one. I gotta look this up because
Wait, Diva, you go back to season 4. That Africa trip was good.
Yeah, it
really
was.
did. Yeah.
but
That
wait,
was the best trip.
this bone doctor literally told
Yes.
her you're gonna be alone.
Yes,
you-
for the
You know what else
Mm-hmm.
he said? He told
Well, he
Kandi
read
that her husband was on that trip
Yes,
with
he
her.
That I
did. He told
do
Kandi that.
remember.
Yes.
That I do remember. I just don't remember the piece about Sheree. He cursed her, that darn bone doctor.
Yeah, he sure did. She shouldn't have sat there. She'd have been like Phaedra. Phaedra said, I don't believe in this.
Right, because Phaedra was there hooking Todd and Candy up. That's what was going on. And that
Yeah.
reader knew that, and that's why he said that to Candy, because he
Mm-hmm.
already seen Phaedra in motion.
And he told Nene she was unhappy. And I think he said something about Cynthia and her marriage or something.
Now
When she was
I
on her
gotta go
debut.
back and watch this.
You
Oh,
gotta do a watch
he told
party.
He told Nene she wasn't happy in her current marriage. That she was with Greg.
Mm-hmm. No,
Oh
he told her she was not happy. She kept saying not happy in my marriage. The man was saying, no, you're unhappy.
In general,
And she was
as in her
divorced from
spirit.
Greg at that time. She was divorced from Greg at that time.
He was saying her spirit, her herself is.
Yeah,
You know what? She's never been like. I think it was more her to do with her career. It was when she wasn't getting the calls back and stuff. But she kept on blaming it on Greg. But it was her spirit. He was saying something's not right with your spirit,
and it still isn't. But you know, but we'll carry on because now she's talking about this the woman that's suing her boyfriend's wife. She's pretty much saying why am I in this? Girl, are you delusional?
I watched the video.
My question, my
in.
question for that is, with Nene being in Georgia, can that happen? Because I thought both parties had to be in like North Carolina.
Well, no, because the marriage was based in North Carolina, she has the right to sue. So the woman can come from anywhere. But since his marriage was based in North Carolina, she has the right to sue.
I really don't
Even
understand
from another country. What if they were in another country?
I don't know how it will work, but right now Nene got a problem on her hands, and I hope her man is worth $100 grand.
Great. Did you see that she took him to the red carpet for the BET Awards?
I did see that.
I thought she was distancing herself from the man.
I don't think that lady's going to get any money. I don't think she's going to get any money. I think she's just wasting some of Nene's money. I do believe that.
Well, we're gonna come back. We're gonna come back on this, guys. When the verdict comes down, Nene's gonna have to pay some money.
Okay.
Because Nene's her own worst enemy. She runs her mouth too much.
Thank you.
You gotta shut up. So as soon as, and first of all, and he took it down, the boyfriend wrote something funky too. Well, the woman's husband. He wrote something it was nasty. You're right. I'm saying funky, I'm being nice. It was nasty. It was nasty.
That is your ex-wife or your wife currently. Have some respect for her. You loved her at one time. You don't need to go public with this kind of stuff. Acting like she didn't mean anything and that she was desperate or pathetic. That's not cute.
That's where I feel she's going to lose that, because this man is going to say, I have not been in that house for umpteen years.
Which is not
it's
true.
Not like Nene came in between anything.
Well, it's going to be hard to prove, right? Because if all of his stuff was still going to that marital address, it's going to be a lot to prove. Like, if you wasn't there for years, why was all your stuff here? And it's a lie. It's going to be hard to prove. And I think they know she got a little case. But
didn't you say Fantasia had to pay her off? Didn't you see Fantasia had to pay off the lady that sued her and her T-Mobile husband?
Yeah.
Well, Fantasia act like she didn't know. That's what she was like. Fantasia act like she didn't know the sun was yellow.
Right? I do believe that maybe there might be some point when you first get with somebody where you may not know. But if you investigate enough, you ask enough questions, or you see how they moving, you're gonna find out. You're gonna know something. I think though, once they get vested in a person, or some people just don't care from the up front. They like whatever, keep going.
She went on IG and said, "He's yours, he's mine, he's ours."
Yep,
she did.
She did. So that's
fun and games when you humiliating the wife. But now that you've been included in the class action, all of a sudden it's wrong, and why am I in it?
You know what? I was one of the ones that.
Okay, wait, guys, we got. Hey, Corey, but wait, we got to address this, right? So it says, so she said, no, Sanya doesn't need to have a baby for a husband. What is this, the 1950s, please? Okay, so hold on. Let's talk about relationships here right now. Let's
Yeah.
talk about husband and wife. Let's talk about marriages. Let's talk about being partners with somebody. So I do think that you should discuss ahead of time, not saying that people can't change their mind, children. How many children do you want to have? Where do you want to live? You got to discuss these things ahead of time, right? So, but what do we want to say? Should Sonya be having this baby?
I mean, it's their choice. I mean, but
It's up to them.
They have to be in
Yeah.
agreement with that, because if one person wants it and the other one has, or if it's the other way where, let's say they have a passionate night and she ends up pregnant, she's going to end up resenting him for that. And I don't think Sonya's going to want to do another abortion, and especially now since she lives in Georgia, where pretty much that can be problematic for her. So I think they need to be on the same page for that, because I think that could be the thing that breaks up their marriage if they're not solid on being like, okay, we're doing it, let's do it.
But don't you think, and vice versa too, right? Where it comes to if he's the one who is desiring to have this other child, it might turn into some form of resentment towards her.
Yeah.
For not being, like Diva said, though, that's something that you discuss before you step into a marriage. You discuss what number of children we want to have, where do we want to live. With me, if I was him, if your mama and your sister and her, how can your sister tell you not to have a child? She's walking around with two.
I have a question. I have a question because Sanya said that previously when they had the first child, he was not there for her. And remember, she also said when she had her abortion, he wasn't there for her. So this is a reoccurring theme. So the thing is, her parents and her sister are going to leave. Like if they like Atlanta, they're going to stay in Atlanta. If they don't, they're going to leave. But this child is for life. So she's thinking about it long term. I'm going to have not only one child, but a second child. And if the husband continuously doesn't show up for his wife when she needs him, she has to take that into consideration. Especially because she's trying to be an entrepreneur and have her, NPC job at the same time. He expects her to, it's not a case where he's just providing for her and she gets to sit at home. No, she's contributing to the family's finances, but you don't want to contribute to the home and the child rearing. Therefore,
and I think she was talking to her sister and mother about it, because that's the one who helps her raise them children. And her sister, I feel like, knows, like, you're too hands off yourself. Me and mommy is sitting here raising these children or raising this child when you're not here or the husband's not here. So no, I don't think y'all need to have another child, maybe until y'all settle down a little more or something. But of course, it's not up to her. It's not up to no one but them two.
True. Her husband is very laid back. At least he appears to be very laid back and calm. Go ahead, King. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, with regards to her getting the abortion, I think it was in 2008 or 2009. And correct me if I'm wrong, anybody. I know y'all will. I think she got it without him. I think that was the decision she made on her own.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was the decision.
He didn't want her to do it. He didn't want her to do it.
And he didn't know she got it until after it was performed.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Now that adds another element. It's kind of like you owe me one.
Right. Right.
And
marriage is sacrifice.
But having an abortion is not an you owe me one kind of thing.
Right, but
when a woman has an abortion, I think she needs even more, especially psychological support, than if she gave birth to that baby. So him not being there and him holding it against her or resenting her because she had abortion for her career probably hurt her a lot during that time period as well.
But hurt him as well too, because that was his child and his wife, and that decision was.
He's not a woman. That's
but
the
that
thing.
was his child, though.
But
you know what those people, we gotta talk about this. MH, King is right. It is still his child, and you're married. You're married.
But
so
Grace,
you know once you get married,
they're both athletes, but only one has to sacrifice their body and their career to have the children.
I think they should have talked about is what they basically they should have come to that decision together versus her making the call for both of them. I think
Right.
that's where he could have had a problem. I think that's what you guys are trying to say, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
No,
100%.
but even if okay, yeah.
Listen, once you get married, you don't make solo decisions, because then it's going to be problematic in your relationship, right?
Right.
And I'm not saying that just because your spouse doesn't want XYZ, you just don't do it, but you do at least talk to them and you make decisions together and say, listen, this is what's going on. This is how I'm feeling. This is what I want to do. You talk about it, but you don't go do it and then come later and be like, all right, this what happened. I already did it. Whoa. Whoa.
I just want to
We
be
don't do that.
careful because male athletes don't ever have the responsibility of being the child, like carrying a child, so they never have to give up their careers or parts of their careers or something that they've wanted to do for their whole lives. Like that was her
Well,
goal,
that's
to be
part
an
of being
Olympian.
a
He didn't have
well,
to give
that's
up
part
being
of
in the
being a
NFL.
woman. Well, that's part of being a woman and a wife, to say we are the ones who are the child, bearing. The
Yeah.
husband is not. So at
Right.
some point in your life, you're going to have to take a pause, even to be pregnant for 9 months. So as
Yeah.
a woman, this.
Is
It's
she
not
retired now?
something new to us as women and as
I don't
married women.
know. We don't know that much details about Sanya and all her other ventures, right?
Listen, the
But
producers are not
yes, I
producing.
think Dr. Love, you said this, right? You know, as a woman, there are certain duties. I mean, come on, your husband can't have a baby, so you're going to be the child bearer, right? And again, you know that this is going to take really more than 9 months out of your life, because as soon as you spit the
Exactly.
baby out, you're not going to go back to work. And then,
Right.
you have to figure out, once you do have this baby, not say you, but you and your husband together, like, what are we going to do? Am I going to stay home for a year? Are we going to get a nanny? Are we going to put the baby in childcare? And then you have to say, what are your career goals and aspirations, so that you can try to plan having a child around
Accordingly.
those goals and aspirations, right? But
Right.
you can't be loosey goosey and slip up and just be like, okay, this wasn't in the plan, so I'm going to do XYZ, and not even come into agreement with my husband. You got to speak to
Right.
the man.
Yeah, if
I
we're
think you
both
guys
having
just fancy this
unprotected
guy,
sex.
and you guys are giving him
Yeah.
a pass, to be honest.
Oh, I don't
Oh,
fancy
you
him
think
at
because
all.
we like him?
I think so. He comes across so likable that people, I feel like we're putting everything on Sanyu because he comes across such a nice guy, because we've had so many Patricia's like on the show before, so him just being a cool, calm, like laid back kind of dude that lets his wife shine is so attractive to people. But I really think that when she says he was not there to help me, you did not help me, and he never says I was or I will be. He just says, I want to have a kid and I'm going to resent you and I might resent you. That's not a
True.
way, that's not very mature, in my opinion.
But
He's telling
she
the truth, though, right? He's saying, listen,
right.
I
He's
can't answer
communicating
you.
with her. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, I can't say to you that I'm not going to resent you, because I will only know that feeling when it comes to that time, right? And then listen, everybody's help is different. So the thing is, everybody has to learn how to use their words when they're in a relationship, right? So in relationships, a lot, communications becomes a big issue. Like, a lot of couples end up separating because of lack of communication, right?
Communication.
So
Yep.
what does helping you look like? He just keeps saying, you need to help me. You're not helping me. You're not here half the time. Well, the business is in Texas. I can't mind this business from Atlanta. So you knew you had to come to some logical thinking yourself and say, okay, I am going to have to go back and forth to mind this business, unless you got a good person that you can really trust, but you still need to go mind and look over your own business, right? And so what does that help look like? I mean, you can't expect this man to put the kid to bed and he's in a whole nother state. So are you saying I close down the business in Texas, restart one here in Atlanta, so you can be home every night?
But when they had the
She does
first
use the
child,
word more too.
sorry, great. When they had the
Mhm.
first child, did they have this two-state home issue? Weren't they all in
They're in
Texas?
Houston. They're in Houston at
Yeah,
the
so
time.
that wasn't an issue then, I don't think. And he still wasn't helping. So his presence, his lack of presence, even when he's there, is he really present? Because a lot of women go through that. A lot of women have husbands that say they want loads of kids, but they're not there to parent their kids. And then you end up living a life as a single mother while you have a husband. And she clearly doesn't want to do that twice over.
But I think what also needs to be considered is the balance that comes with raising kids and having a career and having a marriage. Like that, no one has it perfectly, and no one is able to even do it beautifully. So that's going to be a constant thing that they're going to have to learn how to juggle as a family and as a husband and a wife. So I mean, it's never going to be perfect, but I think just whatever decision they decide to make, they need to be agreement on what compromises they're willing to make or what commitments they're willing to make in order for it to work on both ends, so that it doesn't, become an issue that causes them to drift away from each other.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. But you gotta say to me more than I'm just not helping. What does help look like to you? What? Help change a diaper, help give a bath, help give a bottle. What does it help look like to you? Because Deucey is Deucey, and Deucey you could tell he's a piece of work. He cute, but you can tell he giving them a run for the money, right? So I think that because she doesn't seem, I can't tell, but every scene where it's her and Deucey, like Deucey's running her. So
Yes.
you see what I mean?
Because that slap on the ass is something I expect
she's
from a white
doing
mother.
this thing, but is she really doing it herself?
I've never seen a black
is
mother
she there?
being slapped on the ass
Go
like
ahead.
that. I said I've never seen a black mother being slapped on the ass like that.
Did he slap her on the ass?
That was no, like your child just smacking you on the ass. Like you do it once, and
He
you get
did something.
like,
he did something,
did
and she
that.
just looked at him. So she didn't even correct.
times.
She didn't even correct his behavior in
My
real
mom would have
time.
chased me
But
out.
Diva, you know why she couldn't.
Oh, because she's
cameras
on
was-
TV. Because she's
Yeah,
on
True.
TV.
you know she couldn't do
But
what
then
what we did.
but if you've been disciplining
Yo,
your
let me tell
child,
you
your child
something.
doesn't even do that.
They would have got a show that night because Deucey would have heard from me. Deucey would have heard. Wait, 1 second, guys. Plum, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the super chat. I truly appreciate it. I really do. Thank you so much. But Deucey would have heard from Mama. I would have talked to Deucey like, yo, Deucey, you better calm down when you get it.
Watching him.
Tom?
The grandma and the mom were just watching him slap. I'm like, no.
Because my mama would have told me up at that tea party.
Right.
When I
Yes, Deucey acted up at that tea party. That's what I'm saying. She has no control over him, and I think that is overwhelming for her. But if she disciplines him, and I'm not even talking about putting hands, I'm not saying that. If she disciplines him and he understands that she's not going to go for it, she probably wouldn't have such a hard time. But she, I feel like he's left unchecked all the time. I do think he probably listened to Daddy when Daddy's around. But but Sanya, nah, he's running Sanya up and down that house
I
and
think
around the corner.
when Daddy's around, he's like, just do what you. He lets him run ragged
I
because
don't
he doesn't want to be engaged. He's probably watching
like
NFL TV Monday night.
Because at the at the tea party when he was acting a little difficult, her response to him, what I caught was, do I need to call Daddy?
Call Daddy.
So Daddy must be the disciplinarian. And
or the absentee father.
No, I ain't gonna give him
don't do that. Don't do that. He ain't no absentee father. Don't do that.
I'm just saying, when the parent that's never around always is the scary one because they're never around.
But has it been said he's never around?
Right.
No, I mean I can see that because I feared my father, but I also feared my mother too at the same time. So they snatched me up all the time, no matter who it was. They even tag team me. So
you see, MH. Here's the thing with Sanya. I really need her to use her words more. Every time she talk about this baby, she starts to crying. Then she got Mama sitting there while she's trying to tell her husband. She got Mama sitting there while she's trying to talk to her husband. No, baby girl, I'm going to need you to be a big girl because you said I do, right? You married him. I'm going to need you to be a big girl, tell everybody to go in their corners, and you talk to your husband. and you explain to your husband. She's not really using her words. She just keeps
Diva,
saying,
can
I
I
need
ask you a
you there
question?
more.
If
Yeah.
I said to you, I need more help from you, what is your response?
Well, oh, you're saying he should use his words too. I'm
Exactly.
feeling you. I'm feeling how you coming at this.
But
Yeah,
you all
he should.
you all don't
Because
think this might be television? Because they've been together since high school. So these conversations about wanting is really giving me Robin Dixon, Juan Dixon Potomac season 6.
no, because you know what they said? People that watch the old reality show, this was a sticking point then as well.
Really?
Like this
Really?
issue of not
Yeah.
having a second child for the child to play like grow up with and stuff. That's what he wanted a daughter even then.
And that must have been when Deuce was a baby.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, do you think that they would be opposed to doing like a surrogacy as like a happy medium?
No, I
She
think with
doesn't
her
want
it's
to
more
raise.
she just doesn't want to. She doesn't have the time. That's what she's
Yeah.
claiming, right? She doesn't have the time, and especially because he doesn't participate as much.
Yeah.
She's saying it's all going to be on her back, and in addition to her not having the time, she's saying too, with her career and everything that she's doing.
But her
I
parents are
personally think she just
there.
doesn't want a baby.
Her parents are there with her, and it's like, granted, they might be a little annoyed that another grandbaby's been added to the mix, but they're not gonna leave her hanging and struggling with
Oh,
the
Right.
Ray, did you do the last scene?
Say that again.
Did you do the last scene? Did you set up the last scene
Oh yeah, for the episode
with the fight?
with Kenya and Marlo.
Oh, wait a minute now. Why am I losing it with Kenya and Marlo?
I just want to
Oh
remind
my
you.
God.
I
Oh my
wanted to
God.
remind
Yes,
you. Yeah.
yes, we have to talk about that last scene really quickly. So here's the thing. Here's the problem I had. Now, I like Kenya and I like the new Kenya, but her putting her hand in Marlo's face was way too much.
No.
Way too much.
And then say
It
she got
was
the wrong one. I'm like, Kenya, remember the last time you did that? And what happened? You got dragged. You got dragged.
And
It was
does this
too.
a lot.
It had me having a little anxiety. She's lucky that Marlo, she knows how
acting
to
like a
do
jailbird.
reality TV in a sense,
And she
right?
didn't have a switchblade with her too.
She was
Right.
acting like a jailbird. Why were her hands behind her?
Because she's like, I want you to. And someone who does that, they're like dating you like that.
I see that
they
on
ain't afraid to get crazy with you.
gang,
Right.
jail TV
Well,
shows.
what
where
Marlo does, we have to say this, right? Marlo, because she doesn't know how to read, she always go way below the belt. She goes gutter. She goes gutter. And it's a difference between reading somebody and going gutter, right? So Marlo always wants to hit her on Mark. So we know, listen, Mark was, that was a whole situation. And now she has Brooklyn. Don't do that, right? And then she wanted to. What else did she bring up? Oh, she just kept bringing up Mark,
her booty.
Her booty.
Do you know what I find funny though is the fact that Kenya was baby shaming Marlo, and for years she'd been saying, "Oh, the women on the show are always shaming me because I'm manless and childless." But as soon as she has the child now, and the other woman doesn't have the child, she goes for nuclear. Oh, at least I got a child out of it. What do you have?
Well,
I don't think she was really trying to like baby shame Marlo at that point. I think she came back with that comeback because Marlo was saying stuff about the marriage and Mark. So she's saying, she's pretty much saying like, it might have been a bad marriage, but at least I have Brooklyn.
No, she said, what do you have after? That's the one that I felt like was that was the dig at her not being, not having any children. So she said, in all of your relationships, you can't even get a kid out of it.
Okay, I see what you're saying. I mean, that scene was a bit much. It was a bit much. It was a whole lot for me. I couldn't take it. I was like, yo, Kenya, you need to put your hand down. She let Marlo get to her. And so that's where Kenya is slipping. Usually her tongue is very sharp. She knows how to cut you with that tongue, but she let Marlo get to her.
But she did that with Ramona as well. Do you remember when she threw that glass at her on the other show, that they
Oh, you
did.
talking about the girls' trip? I didn't really.
Yeah.
I watched two
She
episodes or
she
3 of
threw
the
a
girls'
glass at
trip.
No,
Ramona, who's
she
like
didn't
an
throw
elderly
she
lady.
didn't throw a glass at Ramona.
She smacked
She
that
did.
glass
She
out of her
spilled the
hand.
She took
contents
the
of it.
glass out Ramona's hand. But now, Diva,
But
you
she
know
was
I've never.
shaming Portia for being physical. I don't need to get physical. I can use my mouth.
Well, Portia got a problem, so we ain't gonna compare the two of them. But Diva, now Diva, I've never done this. I defend Kenya down. What I saw happen last night, because my girl, throughout the years, throughout the amours of her tenure on Housewives, Kenya has been known, and I'm gonna say she didn't do it. We ain't even gonna get to the Portia and the reunion because she didn't provoke her, but Kenya has had a tendency to do what Marlo did to her.
Yep.
Kenya has, walked up on people to try to get the worst reaction out of them.
Oh, she has.
Now Marlo did that last night. I know you were saying that, you felt she was baby shaming. I think we as of recently have put these terms in front of shaming, and really, I mean, she was responding to Marlo.
I actually made that up.
I know.
I meant the sentiment behind it.
All of it is made up, though.
So I was
all of it makes sense. I'm saying all of it's made up. All of this stuff is something that somebody came up with. But I'm saying, yes, she might have baby shamed her, but it was a response to Marlo.
Yeah.
Shaming her. They've always, like you said, have shamed Kenya about
being manless, childless,
Phaedra went to the gutter about that baby, and I think that was something Kenya felt. Kenya really, the lighter side of Kenya is seen when she's with Brooklyn. Like, one of my favorite scenes of last night was Brooklyn, trying to give a little piece of what I learned, and then no, mommy, I'm eating. That was one of my favorite scenes. And I think, Eva said the same thing to Marlo, because Marlo does go gutter. And it's a difficult thing for you to sit there and say, yeah, you can go to the gutter and I'm not. So that's something that Kenya has that Marlo doesn't. And Marlo has expressed on the show that she's had a couple of miscarriages, and she wanted to know why God would let her be a mother.
Yes, I do remember that.
So I think
remember that.
Kenya was hurt. I could tell, even though one thing I'm saying, Kenya has done twice with Marlo, and she's owned it. You say she had a bad wig. Yes, I know. And Mark talked to me any kind of way. Yes, he did. But I got a baby out of it. Now, what you got out of your Invisible Men?
Yeah, you know what? That scene was rough. It was a whole lot going on. And somebody said Marlo was walking up on Kenya. MB. Yeah, Marlo was walking up on Kenya, but Kenya had the hand. It was too close for comfort.
Don't come to me, I'll F you up.
I was like, Kenya, now really?
Y'all don't know
Kenya?
what Kenya can do. Look, we've seen
what she did. She played like a dead dog and get snatched up and roll around the floor.
She wasn't prepared for that one. Okay, but we saw her
when someone gets up like that and gets in your face,
you're supposed to react.
Ball gown on or not. We about to scrap together.
Kenya didn't want to present that on the show. She wanted to Miss America. She wanted to see.
She wants to fight elderly white ladies on other reality shows, though.
Listen.
Thank you. Nothing. Ramona need to get popped, okay?
But the thing is, would she have done any of that on Housewives? She would have never done any of that on Housewives because she knows what would have happened.
You know what though? This what I want to know. Is Sanya now going to stop speaking to Kenya since Kenya put her hands up in Marlo's face?
Right.
That's what I want to know. Because Sanya, I think, is full of it. She's full of crap. So you stood there and you watched that. Are you now going to stop speaking to Kenya? Because her hands were literally, I don't even know if it was an inch. It was so close to Marlo's face.
Mm-hmm. It was.
It was too much.
Yeah, it was. Marlo could feel the heat from her hand. It was that.
Yes, she could. Yes, she could.
With them ET fingers.
Marlo has a cut woman in her face.
She's cut a woman in her face.
Yeah, she cut a woman. Remember that?
Marlo has cut a woman in the face.
Yep.
Listen, Marlo had it rough.
Marlo's not to be messed with.
She came a long way. I get it that you have to defend your peach, and I'm sure. Listen, Marlo has said that as a friend of the show, Bravo pays her well. So I'm sure when she got her peach, she got a nice boost. And I get how you don't want to lose your peach. But I also feel like she's gone over the top, doing too much, overcompensating, and she got to calm down, especially because she's building this mansion, right? Don't
You know,
don't do too much. You got
yeah,
to know where you fit in.
on Carlos King's show, she said that one of the people that kept saying to her when she was a friend of the show that she'll never get a peach was Kenya.
Mhm.
And she always said, you're not classy enough. Like, you're not of the level of the show and you'll never get a peach. So for her to get it, and now for her, I'm not surprised she's coming for Kenya.
And Nene told her that too. She said it.
Yeah, Kenya. She said Nene was one of them, and she's also
Uh-huh.
said Kenya was one of them.
But
But
she stay up on
Nene,
the
she's
Nene
like,
dress.
she was like, she's got Stockholm syndrome, and we're
Well,
in a
see,
like abusive relationship.
here's the problem with Nene too, right? Nene has really blocked a lot of people's money and bag.
Mhm.
So for Nene to be so surprised about everything that's going on with her right now, she's a little delusional. But she has on a regular basis. Once Nene knew that she was the queen bee, because let's
Did
be
Nene
clear,
lie?
huh?
Did Nene lie? She said that Marlo wasn't going to bring us anything else that she hasn't been bringing as a friend. Was she lying?
Nene said that when?
Yeah.
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
Recently?
On an interview.
Guess What Happens Live? No, ages ago.
Oh, I've seen her say it recently when she was, I think, Hollywood. Somebody asked her, did she think Marlo would get a peach?
That lady in the club.
Oh, is that when Marlo was chasing her around the baseball field?
No, this was what I saw was from since Nene hasn't been on Housewives.
Oh,
in her lounge?
And that's her sister?
Yeah, in her lounge. Yeah, in her lounge.
Yeah,
And
I remember that.
She said what she related to something like why would you pay? And that's why I don't really believe Marlo when she says she was getting paid well, because Nene has often, I mean, when she said that about Marlo, she said, there's been some people who've worked on this show for this, and there's been some who's been on the show as friends for free. So
with a friend with Nene, who needs enemies?
Nene's never been a good friend to anybody on this show, in my opinion, ever.
No, but I do believe Nene's the type that likes having people around her that's Team Nene. So I can believe that she used to bring Marlo on to fight her battles. And
But
she used to tell Andy and Bravo, pay her to come on the trips, pay her to be around. And I can believe that.
You can believe, but Kenya, if you remember when Kenya came on the show, and I know y'all weren't fond of her then, y'all growing to her now, but she was trying to be a part of Team Nene. Nene just didn't like Kenya for for some reason.
Not people that she considers to be peers of her. Like people that can compete against her as a fan favorite, or are more beautiful than her, or more accomplished than her. She doesn't like people like that. No.
More beautiful than her.
No.
She should have hated the show.
What you're not gonna do is talk about our white chicks like that, okay? She has come a long way from Magic City.
She has come a long way from Athens.
Yeah, she had. You know what? I think Nene, if she considered, well, Andy put her on that pedestal, right? Andy created a monster. He really did. Yeah. He created a monster, and then when she got too out of control, he didn't know how to pull her back because it was too late, right? And so that's why I think with Nene, anytime anyone was on the show and they would go up against her, either you was Team Nene or you were her enemy. And if you were her enemy, she came for you with a vengeance.
We were here for it.
Yeah, she really did. And so, but that was Nene.
But Andy has that problem with Ramona. He has that problem with Jersey. What's that lady's name? Teresa. Like, he can't handle them. Vicky, who got rid of because of that. Like, sometimes when they become the face of the show and they're the fan favorite and they get older, there's not much you can do with them.
No, I think the problem that was with Nene and old girl from the OC is they weren't pulling the ratings that they were in the beginning of their series. So if they were bringing in the ratings,
money, okay, yeah.
If they're bringing in the ratings and the money, he would have kept them on, and Nene would still be on the show to this day. But it's the fact that Nene left and came back and nothing really changed. It's kind of just like, well, why am I paying you all this money and you're not really bringing the foot traffic to the show like you used to?
And you're hard to deal with and hard to film with.
Yeah,
wait,
apparently,
hold on 1 second, guys. Hold on 1 second. Marlo was the one who invaded Kenya's face. Kenya did the right thing to prevent her face from being slashed. Marlo is a jealous hater. Now, see, I ain't gonna do that.
Exactly. She ain't pull out her switchblade and cut her ass up
to the white meat
like a sushi roll.
And y'all know, Smoke Diva, y'all know when somebody walking up on you with them hands behind their back, that mean they already know. But they already know that wasn't jail. That mean you doing all this. And I know. See, Marlo knew if a fight broke out, I love you, Kenya, but it was gonna be trouble for you. It was gonna be trouble for Kenya. If
Sheree was trying to calm her down. Did you guys see that?
Yes. Calm whom down?
Sheree was trying to tell her, I feel like they've discussed this before. So she said to her, listen, you're always going to, because you're an ex-convict, you're always going to be seen as the more aggressive one. So, make sure you don't get your hands anywhere near them and stuff like that. So she was telling her, but I'm not touching her. Why can't I go back and forth with Kenya? She's getting aggressive with me. She's coming at me. Why can't I go back? And Sheree's like, you can't do the same as her. Like, calm down. Like, the cameras are there, kind of thing. Like, calm.
Yeah, I mean, it was good advice. We got a Team Twirl in the building. Team Twirl in the building. Nene just said that last year. When she said that about Marlo, I think Bravo made it their business to give her a peach.
Ooh, out of spite. A spiteful peach.
But you know what?
Gave Marlo a peach to piss Nene off. They probably did. See, here's the thing, right? And
if they were pissing her off, they would have brought Cynthia back.
Well, in that same interview, she said they needed to fire Cynthia. So
exactly, they would have kept her.
I don't know. Maybe that was before the lawsuit, so maybe they was trying to appease her and piss off at the same time.
Yeah, that's true, right? Kenya kick box? Kenya kickbox? Oh, you say Kenya does kickbox? I don't know, but either way though, Kenya, you got to be careful because remember, Kenya was on the reunion talking about you don't point stuff in people's face. Remember, she said that to a Portia. So they all trip over their own words, right?
Right.
You say you don't point stuff in people's face, but your hand was literally. You could have touched her. You could have touched her.
But Marlo's face was too close for comfort. Too. Both of them were wrong.
Yes.
Both of them were wrong.
She was scared that Marlo was gonna smooth out those speed bumps on her face, I think.
Oh, come on now. Sister using her black soap and her shea butter. Don't do that.
Drop a Diva.
For that one slap.
Drop them.
Flatten out.
But I have a question though I want to ask. Like,
yes.
I know we're talking serious and whatnot, but aren't y'all happy with like the mess and drama we're getting this year compared to last year? It feels like it's much better than Bolo and his thing.
Oh, it definitely is. It's a different. You know what? It's bringing me a little bit back to the roots of RHOA, right?
Okay.
It's bringing a little bit back of that feel. So it is much better. It's definitely interesting. I will say this: as messy as Portia is, I do miss her. I miss Portia.
Yeah,
I really
miss
do.
Looking at someone,
who didn't have anger management.
She was attractive. She had a cute little family. I miss Portia, but she killed me with that family values rubbish.
Oh my gosh, that was horrible.
That was a train wreck.
I unfollowed her after that. I was like, girl, I can't defend you no more in these streets right here because you just went out your godforsaken mind.
Y'all playing.
It was too much. But I do miss her. Of course, I'm a Cynthia fan. I miss Cynthia because I don't feel that everybody has to be rah-rah, right?
Yes, I agree.
So I do miss Cynthia. And, Drew, she's okay. I don't know what they're going to do with her next season, but she's okay. And Sanya, I don't know. Sanya is Sanya, right? But we'll see. But listen,
I just like the fact that we're getting to know new families. I think that's the roots thing when you mean is the fact that Last season, we were going through the same recycled friends off. There was like 20 friends off. They were all the same recycled people. And they had to drag 2 storylines for the whole season. And that was Bolo and
That's true.
like
Profit
they just
Lodge.
dragged that all
Profit.
out. Yeah, the
I
profit.
give that to you. I give that
Like,
to you.
Also,
That is true.
But
Yes.
also, can they start visiting each other's houses again? It just be like, what are y'all afraid to do to
you know
see each
why?
other?
I think there's nobody that has comedic timing or is actually funny. That's the one thing we lack. Kandi is not funny. She can read, but she's not funny. Candy's, Kandi.
Kenya's
And
funny.
Sheree might be the person that might give us a few confessional kikis.
What?
But
You mean
Marlo-
Elvira?
What?
Not
Sheree.
Elvira.
But
Sheree.
Mo, I know what you're saying about going back to their houses, like visiting at home. But when we had to go see Candy's home with this person that was trying to get in or whatever, it was a lot going on, a little bit messy.
Yeah.
in the kitchen, right?
Yeah,
I thought so.
yeah. It was a little
I
bit.
thought
It
so,
was
but I
it
didn't
was a
want to say
little bit
anything because
messy.
her house is probably that kitchen's probably worth more than the house that I live in. So I was like,
Because here's my thing: if these are a group of friends, I'm looking like we ain't always going out to like eat or to party or going to an event. Like sometimes we just show up in like our sweatpants, got our hair shaped up or did up, and we bringing over some alcohol. Someone bringing over the food, and we just having a good time while you washing your dishes and getting your house together.
Y'all remember when Kenya invited Cynthia and Nene over to help her paint the rented house?
Oh, the one from that. What was that one? Oh my gosh! Wait, yeah, because she was at that woman. That was her.
I
friend.
miss organic stuff like
In that woman wedding dress.
Kanye.
Things that would just happen. But, oh, what do you want to film today? Oh, I'm thinking about painting my house. I'm gonna call the girls over. Can you bring them over? Make them come to my house and do this.
Oh my
Remember
God.
when you was in the hotel?
Let me ask you this. Do you really think Phaedra has a space now on this show? Like, do you really think?
Ray, I've been with you on this. I'm with you on this campaign.
Yes, she does.
To bring that back.
What would be her purpose?
Oh, Prince and President seem to be so much fun. She's got her sons are a little bit older now.
Yeah.
I feel like she gave us a lot. I don't know what people are talking about. She's just not the type of person. You know what the difference? You know what I like Phaedra and in this girls trip and Eva is they're allowed to be themselves. They are not naturally in big groups. They're not the biggest personality. They will throw their bits and bobs like in there, but they're not the biggest personality. And in RHOA, if you're not a big personality that's just gunning for everybody all the time,
you get swallowed up.
like a Kenya, you're not appreciated. But I think Phaedra is better than what we have now.
I like Phaedra back then. I just don't know because Kandi has stated over and over she would leave, and that would be me seeing them have a conversation would really be my main reason for wanting Phaedra back on the show.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, though, that I think if they have that conversation, I feel like that's gonna bring more skeletons up the closet that neither one of them want us to proceed, because the way that went down, to me, that was some scorn lover stuff. Like, you don't just do that to a friend. So I feel like they may have had some soul ties, either with their husbands or with each other.
No, I feel like
Phaedra
was in a bad place at the time.
She was the dungeon.
I feel like she was unhappy with the Todd situation where he offered to keep Apollo's stuff, because her and Apollo were going through a nasty divorce.
Yes.
And she wasn't happy with that. And I felt like Carlos King gave her the storyline that she needed. So she was like, I think they did see one. Portia was asking her, oh, I'm going to go into a scene with her. You know, we're having all these problems. What should I say? And she was like, oh, say this.
But even with that, like Phaedra, Phaedra is a lawyer. Now, a successful lawyer, that's questionable. But she should have known that something like that coming out on TV, that's like, okay, that's going past.
Is it really? We've heard so many crazy stuff on these reality shows.
Not like that.
We just decided.
No. You know what's
we decided this is the line.
Yeah. I don't think Phaedra was thinking, and I don't think she thought it was going to take the leg the way it did.
Right. I don't think
that's what I really think. But you know what?
We mixed two things. We mixed the dungeon with the rape. Like her saying, oh, you
Right.
wanted to take, like, those are two different things. Her saying you've got a sex dungeon and that you're a
Wasn't the
sex
problem.
freak.
The rape was the R word
The
was the
rape is
The
problem.
what
R,
she
the
said.
R
Drug
word,
R
the R
word.
word.
dealing.
R
Well,
word. R word.
R word.
hold on one second, guys. Yes, Lisa Wu is making an appearance next episode. I cannot wait. I did like Lisa Wu when she was on the show. I think too back then it was more authentic drama and
Yeah.
not
Mhm.
so manufactured.
Yeah.
Because her husband, as we know in real time, he was a whole problematic mess.
Mm-hmm.
But
And
yeah, I'm talking about Lisa Wu's husband. So
Husband,
yeah,
yeah.
I do think I don't know if Phaedra would have a place in this because Phaedra, she loves being married. Unfortunately, Apollo, it was what it was with them. And and she gave us a lot of I love what we was getting back then with
The
all of,
mortuary.
the baby showers, the christenings, the this.
the
And I miss
Buzetto.
the white, right,
Oh
the
my
bougie stuff,
god.
right? I miss the white. I miss
Miss
like when
Lawrence and
we
Miss
had
J.
the white, right? When we had the white, and what's the other one name?
Miss
When we
Lawrence and Derek
Miss
J.
Lawrence
Jay,
and,
yeah.
and Miss J, right? We had a different
They
kind
were
of like
friends of that were
shadiness.
entertaining.
It was
Yeah.
classy shade. Like they didn't
It
go
was
too below the
classy
belt.
shade. It was classy shade. Like I never forget, Sheree, when Dwight was like, "How do you have a fashion show with no fashion?" He was like, "Dreadful." So it was just stuff like that is what I miss and love because it wasn't like they was just coming for you. Like that's where this one guy for Drew messed
Anthony,
up, right?
he was doing
Anthony.
too much.
Mm.
Too much.
He was doing too much, and Dwight and them was not like that. Like they would listen to the story and they would throw their little stuff in there.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like what Anthony came through to try to do. So, and that's because they were trying to make it up. They was trying to push him on us and make up a storyline where Dwight and them they had their own stuff. Like they
Organic.
would just
And they
listen.
were
Yeah,
always like, Dwight had that hairdressing salon. He met these women beforehand. He had
right,
friendships. He was known
right.
in the city. Like, it was just much more organic
remember
It was
Nene
much
and
more organic.
remember
when they had the fight.
Nene and the
ten
Wait, what
thousand
happened? What
dollars.
happened?
Here's a check. I gave him cash. I
yes, I
want
gave
cash back.
him.
That's when Nene got her new teeth.
He read her.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that boy. Yeah.
A beautiful tea, by the way. But listen, guys, because I got to come back tomorrow. I'm doing Love and Marriage Huntsville. And then
Ooh.
maybe the next day I'm doing Love and Marriage DC. But
I need
listen,
to catch
thank
up.
you guys for hanging out with me. But before you go, I'll go to Smoke first. What is your last thoughts on this episode?
This episode, I would say it was a good 9 out of 10. I feel like the ladies as a collective are bringing it. Now, whether the mess makes sense, that's debatable, depending on who's your favorite. But I think, the show is not at its former glory. It's discovering its new place. And I think this group is good. I want to see what happens next and see what the mid-season has to offer.
Yes. You know what? I agree with you. This is a good group, and they've been struggling with that for a while, right? Kim Fields was a definite no, but I'm
Yeah.
glad it was a no for her because she has a very good show now. I think it's on Netflix, right?
Yeah. I think she's
Kim
directing
Fields is
it.
doing well. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the show
Kim
called?
Fields. Uh
I
the
can
the
look it up.
something.
Gray, did you watch the Mathis family on Bravo? Judge Mathis.
It's a feel good show. It's a feel
Mm-hmm.
good show, but I already know Judge Mathis is not going to have any mess
Mm-hmm.
because he's not. But I do
I'm
like it. I do
happy. I
like their
want like
family.
more black reality shows like that. It's
Yeah.
Um,
always
But like Candy said, are people going to support it? She had a good
right.
point. She
But
had
I
a
have
good
a
point.
question. Do we
Yes.
always have to have top-notch ratings? Kim, the botched Kim was on TV for how many years?
That's
7
because
Well,
that was
seasons.
Candy's favorite.
she had a friend. She had a friend in Andy. I
Mhm.
don't know if these other shows are doing a friendship thing. They want to make money.
Yeah, but
So
like
if we
shows
want to
like
see stuff like this, we gotta
yeah,
support it, right?
Yeah.
I
So
support it,
we
but I
shall
just
see.
don't feel like
And
why does a good feel good black show have to have prime ratings? It's just a reality, like it's
Well,
a
but
show
no,
about the
but
family.
MH, any show has to have prime ratings if you want to
Does
get
it?
picked up season after season.
Does it?
Yeah.
Like a show like that, I don't know much about American TV. That's the question I'm asking. If it's just a show that's a reality show, it's really cheap to make. It's not like like spending a lot of money on this show. It's not like it's a a
No,
real
you got
show.
Judge Mathis. They're spending some money.
Yeah, and he lives in a beautiful home.
I'm sure he didn't come cheap. He didn't come cheap.
But I watch
So
so
they're
many
spending some money.
feel-good
They want to
shows.
recover you. Nobody goes in the business to lose money. But hold on one second.
Yeah.
Bedside, BK, thank you so much for the super sticker. I truly appreciate it. But yeah, you're spending money. You want to make money. So yeah, you're gonna have to pull in the ratings.
And Diva, the show's called the
Yes,
Upshaws. It's called the Upshaws on Netflix. Kim's show.
Yes, and it's a really good show. I love it. I really do. It's a really good show. Okay, so MH, your final thoughts?
I'd have to give this a 6 out of 10, only because I felt so uncomfortable with all the fights. Every fight, I didn't have anyone I was rooting for, but it made me feel very cringe each time. So the Kenya and Kandi one, the Kandi crying, the fighting one at the end, each fight made me cringe, but I wasn't particularly rooting for anyone. So I don't feel like I have the contrived fighting means I don't have a vested interest in anyone in the fight. So it's just, but the rest of the show, the way they filled it out was interesting. I like that.
Got you. Can we up it to a 6.5?
Yeah. 7. I'll give it.
Okay, thank you.
That was a good move.
King, what's your final thought?
So I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I think it was really good. It was entertaining throughout the whole show. I didn't have any parts where I, sometimes your attention can be taken away in certain scenes, but this show, it had my attention the whole time. I'm agreeing with somebody in the comments that said if I, bringing back anybody, it would be Eva. I really want you to watch Girls Trip because I want you to get on here.
The second one is the same as good.
Yeah, it's so good. If you don't have Peacock, you can watch it on mine.
Hey.
Because
I should be able to have it, right? Because I have cable.
Well, if you don't, you can get on mine.
Okay, we're gonna connect.
We need to. Because Eva is so much more likable on this show. Like somebody said, they're able to be free, their free selves.
Wow.
Eva is a very and Phaedra even, was talking in the confessional and to Eva.
Killing us.
And let us know that her and Kenya have some type of communication with one another because Kenya had given her told her to not trust Brandy Glanville. And she said, if Kenya calls somebody crazy, that means they bat crazy. So
wow. All right, that's gonna make me watch. And I gotta go watch something else.
Can we talk about
I'm gonna watch. So bring back Eva. Okay, let me tell you something. I did like Eva and her family. I didn't like the way Eva handled the dad to her daughter, right?
No, he was crazy. He was crazy.
I
I
agree that he was crazy, but the thing is, that's who you chose.
On the new show,
you had this baby, and my thing is that even though your daughter, your husband is adopting your daughter or adopted your daughter, at the end of the day, that's still her biological father, and he still has a family. So was the family crazy too? I think you gotta tread lightly, because when we lay down with somebody, we chose them, right? And anytime you lay down with somebody, there's a potential that you can create another life. And so I wouldn't have been on TV handling it the way she handled it because it is the girl's father.
Right.
Or I would have said, you know what, your dad has issues. We're gonna pray for him. And but you're fortunate because now you have another daddy that wants to adopt you. I just would have handled it differently because that is your daughter's biological father. If it wasn't for him, you wouldn't have her. No matter how crazy or whatever he is, she wouldn't be here if he didn't give you part of him. And so these kids are so sensitive, and they think they internalize sometimes, like, oh, you don't like my dad, so do you not like me?
And she looks exactly like her dad.
Yeah, she looks, yeah, she does. So it's a lot. But listen, guys, thank you. Love y'all. I guess I gotta watch this girls trip now.
Yes,
You
I'm gonna look
do.
and see if I have access to it, but if not, King, I'm gonna be contacting you.
Are you gonna
definitely.
do a review of the first 3 episodes if you do? I hope you do.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna check it out and see. I'm gonna have to
Mm.
catch up. I'm gonna have to catch up. But thank you guys. And listen, have a good night, everyone, and I'll see y'all next time.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.